let's rewind here a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Masters of the Scythe. It is some more favorite tunes, you know, interpreted our way. Some of the songs that shaped this band, some of the groups that influenced. I mean, we are influenced by many things, but definitely now we're sort of really playing tribute to it. Uh, but I was saying this when I was muted, but I was going on a long spiel about this. But a lot of the bands here, for example, we're no strangers to like covering stuff. We did this on the Asclepius Bandcamp exclusive single. There's a Target cover, and I was saying this too. But a lot of the people involved with these bands, these are really old songs. I mean, you have "This Means War," which is from 1983. But Algae from Tank has passed away, and Target as well. It's matter of life, and but as always, music is forever, But but Master of the Scythe, I was mentioning this too. This EP was certainly not done quickly. We took our time with this, and there's been many demos that maybe you've heard snippets of in chat or on stream or whatever. Now that it's finally out, my goodness, it's crazy. But with everything that I do in Scythelord, I always feel like, I've said this before. Let's talk serious here. Like Scythelord for me as a band is just like for shits and giggles. But Scythelord is when I like make something that I'm like legitimately like I'm creating something here that I want to have stand on its own and be cemented into like a proper album, even though it's an EP. But what I'm trying to say is here, like everything you hear on a Scythelord release is like carefully done. Like I'm a notorious perfectionist, but when I mix, I record, all this kind of stuff. I'm a notorious like, no, I redo that. So it's a big thing off my back to get this finally out. But all credit here also goes to Frank for putting up with that. Frank's a phenomenal guitarist, and a lot of the leads you hear on this is very, very much Frank. We sometimes switch solos in this album. I'm not gonna call it an album even though it's an EP, but you know what I mean. You might hear our styles a little bit differently. You have the Sodom cover, which is just like guitar like mayhem, where we just do dive bombs and just create a chaos. But like in Tank, for example, the first solo, I just added a little flavor from one, but Frank's solo on This Means War is incredible. But little different. I think we've experimented with clean vocals before in Scythelord, before in Equanimity, and also in Scorch Utopia. But this is like kind of the first time you get to hear something like that on a Scythelord release that is like a public thing. It's always a journey and experimenting and see what works. Your clean vocals are incredible. Keep it up, man. It was because Frank, when we started making this, I had never heard the Tank song before This Means War. And, in the demo days of doing this, like it's such an odd beat on the chorus. It's not immediately This Means War. It's like, then it kicks in. It's like a delay on it. You'll hear it yourself and be like, oh, that's really odd. So, but it's a really cool song. Jesus Christ. When we set out to do this, we've had, as I said, covers before, with Mission to the Andes on the Asclepius thing, we got done with this in time. Earthbound Dystopia was like right on the clock to go, which was just insane. But we were joking like, can we squeeze in one more song on here? But at that point, I don't know what qualifies from EP to LP, and I think EPs are usually like 4 songs, but I think this is 5 songs. But you also have an original song on here another day, and let me talk about this song for an extended period of time, I suppose. So as I said on the main channel here before I started streaming here, it's very much wireframe like part 2. It's I feel the lyrics that I write, like Toxic Minds is a very like straight up thrash record, but Earthbound Dystopia explores different kind of themes and various things I do not agree with. And wireframe, I talked a lot about the I know that people are going to be like, wow, this is like rather serious, but it's something I'm sort of passionate about, or rather enraged about, I guess. But I always feel like a lack of empathy and compassion is something that is very much rampant in today's youth, and that's I'm not talking about old man yells at cloud. I'm talking about the trends and the sort of viral things that happens when people are hopping off cartons of milk. And I think the internet as a whole is a great thing, but it is too much power for some individuals. And I talked about the youth in Wireframe, about what a generation that is raised without empathy can manifest themselves later on. Like, what are the repercussions of this? And what is like technology as a whole doing for the betterment of mankind when it's handled irresponsibly? And Another Day is sort of very related to that, but it's more contemporarily about what's going on today, and that is the sort of viral, sensational, TikTok-y streamers out there that cause misery for others with their own egotistical lack of empathy. I guess that sounds very poignant, but I'm sure you and everybody else has heard of the trends where people explore countries and treat people like it's a playground, with zero respect or responsibility. And it's something that bothers me. When I, for example, when I film stuff for my trip to America videos, whatever, it's incidental footage. I never like get up in people's faces, like my friends, obviously, because we're part of a friend group, but treating people like props, throwing shit, or I don't need to explicitly go into detail. I think what I'm talking about here, but it's really about the sort of lack of compassion that is the viral zeitgeist of the internet, and it sickens me. But that's why we have this band where I can express my feelings about it. But I think it's the hyperbolic nature of it all, where you can see it in the lyrics too, but it's not enough when somebody dies. And I always jokingly, like hyperbolically, like, how long until like people start doing like really stupid stuff, like when they shoot each other with like a handgun and it's a Desert Eagle challenge, and the only thing stopping is a book, and then somebody dies, and then they don't realize like your actions have repercussions. And I don't know where this stems from. I don't know where this lack of, I was going to say a lack of humanity, but if anything, it is more human to be so oblivious to actuality and reality. But but it is a disturbing trend, and maybe I have the wisdom because I'm a little older now. I'm in my very young 30s, but we all did stupid stuff when we were kids. But the problem is now it's almost encouraged because the sort of algorithm that controls the internet, it really manipulates a naive mind that this behavior is okay. And You know, I dread the thought that it's going to get worse. You know, the majority of people have common sense, and they do have, you know, the decency to be like, you know, what they're doing is wrong. But there's always going to be, you know, that impressionable young person that is watching this kind of content, and they will replicate what they're doing, or they will justify it. And, you know, I could go on a big tirade here about, you know, ultimately it's the parents' fault for not raising their children right. But I think in ways too, it is also the enabling of this stuff. And I think it has the big corporations that run the internet as a whole, you know, and I hate to say it, but YouTube and Twitch and you know, Rumble, all these platforms, I don't think they're doing enough to reinforce, you know, what the climate should be. But you know, it is the inevitability that when you have something good, there's going to be bad. It is the zen of anything. But overall, I'd say really proud of the Another Day song. You know, I'm not, but there's a duality to the lyrics. There's a duality to these lyrics where they are from both sides. They are either from the content producer, and it's also from the person absorbing it. And what I mean with that is the parasocial nature of it is when, from one perspective, when you are the catalyst of creating this kind of stuff, you're always reaching for a new high. You know, you're always making new things. You know, you're crashing cars, you're going overseas, you're doing all this stuff, and you need to up the ante, right? And the parasocial nature of it is that you depend on that audience to absorb more of your own destruction, because you there has to be a guilty conscience in everybody. Like, everybody has morals, everybody knows what they're doing is wrong, but the greed of knowing that you're being validated is ultimately stronger than your own, you know, thoughts. And the parasocial nature in that is that you're feeding. And on the inverse of that, the consumer of that content cannot get enough, right? But the thing is, I always thought, I stress this too in the lyrics, you know, forgive and forget, it doesn't matter. My mouth moves in such a rehearsed pattern. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard about people doing outrageous shit, and ultimately they suffer no consequences because they did an apology video and they go, guys, you know, where in reality it should have never fucking happened in the first place. And people are too lenient and too forgetful about this. You know, I don't want to name drop people here, but I'll say this. When people have done really bad things, I'm talking about scams, I'm talking about this and that, yet at the end of the day, they still appear in commercials. They still appear on mainstream media as people to idolize. And at that point, I ask, like, did everybody just fucking forget, you know? And I don't know. I think my problem is with both sides. First of all, I loathe the people that create such misery for others, but I also loathe the ignorant, short memory people that, like, don't understand the big picture here of what's going on. Now, now listen, I'm not here to just exclusively talk about my lyrics in Another Day, but, you know, as a person who I like to believe that I have a moral conscience. I'd like to believe that, you know, I'm on the right side of things. Everything is subjective, of course, but I think the majority of people can agree that in 2025 and beyond, the internet has turned into a complete algorithmic sludge of hyperbolic extremes. I remember when the internet was a Wild West sort of thing where things were just for fun. You didn't take it seriously. Now the internet is, people depend on the internet so much, people depend on technology so much that, you know, when there's an internet outage, people are legitimately, like, completely anxious. Like, they are, this is their world. And I'm gonna get really like serious here. The term touch grass, I thought that was a really fun like way of saying, all right, it's not that serious, go outside. But the people that are behind 5 layers of irony, at the end of the day, they weaponized that and made fun of touch grass. And I think at the point where you are shitting on the idea of, hey, maybe you should cool it down, I think that just that idea is really, I don't want to say evil, but it's like, it shows cracks in the psyche. I don't know what it is, but ultimately it's very human, which is ironic because it's the internet is a manifestation of technology, and it also exposes our vulnerability as human beings because we're greedy, we're morbid, and at the end of the day, you have people making things not fully understanding what they've done until it's too late. But I'm out here to tell you all throughout the stream here about my feelings and the lyrics, but you can probably extrapolate even more from the lyrics from your point of view. But on a baseline level, it is with my frustration of the lack of empathy in a younger generation that is basically substituting good morals for an algorithm, and I oftentimes I don't take what's going on the internet too serious, but it frustrates me when I have to check my news and I hear about somebody else dying over something, and I think the rest of the world does too, but there are those people that like brush off the actuality of that, but but in defense of that, you always have to remember this too. The smallest dogs bark the loudest. You hear about extreme things every day. You hear shit about the news, about people dying, about war, and all these horrible things. But good deeds and good morals is not really validated on the news, and I'm aware of that. But I just feel like generally the culture surrounding this phenomenon about just internet extremity has ramped up over the years. I know that like there's a younger like crowd too here in tonight chat, and I believe everybody here has awareness, and because hey, at the end of the day, you're here, you probably watched me for a while, but I like to think that you guys don't take my streams too seriously. We're just having fun at the end of the day. But when I check Twitch's front page, for example, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh, this really, but I think generally I have a bit of a problem with IRL streamers. Not if they are just good, if they're just having fun with friends and not hurting anybody, that's fine. It's more so when the content is people that don't want to be in there, So treat your neighbor how you want to be treated. See, I think that's the problem. Is that sort of mentality does not necessarily exist so much today. It's a very like voracious climate where everything is so hyperbolically extreme. But don't take my word for it. This is just a piece of art that I express myself through. How you view it is up to you. You might just view it as just some heavy metal. That is completely valid. If you think if my words, echo within you where like I feel the same, I think this is insane, I'm glad about that too. But as I said before, this is very extreme angry music, and I feel in a way I feel I'm in a very unique position because I am a quote unquote content producer on the internet, right? And I just so happen to be a streamer. But as someone who has streamed for a very long time, I have seen trends come and go. And sometimes I feel like an old man. And I'm like, you damn kids, But it's interesting to see the quote unquote home that I stream on Twitch sort of enable it, But but take from it what you will. It is only art at the end of the day, right? At 27, same man. I legit just don't get a lot of the memes nowadays. Well, memes at its core is shared ideas passed on to others, right? That's the thing about it. And it means something different nowadays, sure. It means the DNA of the soul. But I also like to create kick-ass fucking music. Okay. I'm not trying to pose off or like give off the vibe that these lyrics are monumentally important. They are just something that I'm passionate about, and I like to create some really fucking kick-ass shit. So that's also very important. Given your thoughts on technology and its impact on humanity, have you and Frank considered a Vector cover someday? It's interesting because Vector was inspired by Voivod, and there's a quasi-reference to Killing Technology, Voivod, on Another Day. The sort of vocoded robotic voice, total Voivod, we are connected, And it is a sort of allusion to Killing Technology with that, But come to Montreal as a Voivod reference. Well, there's Canadian metal in here with Razor. But listen, guys. We are super fucking proud of this album. It has been a journey, and I'm happy that we are beyond the finish line now. And I hope that you guys had a good time listening to, what's that, half an hour of some really crazy shit. But I think that the more I talk about ideas and inspirations and whatever, I think it is only fair that I bring in the other half of Scythelord in here, which is Frank. So I'm going to call Frank up, and I hope that the audio on my computer is not like doubling down or something. I'm going to see. Yo, man. Use headphones. I always use headphones, but I have such a weird gain on my microphone that you'll probably double it. Alright, well, I'm going to call Frank up. Calling Dr. Frank.
Hello, is this shit working?
Well, we'll know about that in a second.
Alright, cool.
Yep. Yeah, okay,
hey,
it works. Yeah. I had a problem earlier when I went live, and because I'm using like a different profile on OBS, it like fucked up my settings. So I was talking for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, wait, what the hell,
I saw a comment that was really fucking funny that you were doing a cover of John Cage's fucking 4 minutes and 32 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good one.
On a sort of quasi note about that, I always have a problem when like all the songs ever, like when is the right time to fade out the very sibilance of a song? Because you don't want to have it be just a straight out, or you don't want to just have a dunk done. It reminds me of Suffocation put on an album, it's like in 2012. I forgot what it was called. It was like Bedlam of something, but it starts off with no counting, nothing. It starts right into vocals, and it's not like a scream. And it's like, man, it needs to be air in between here, But you don't want to have it too long either. It's I don't know, man. You figure it out as you go, I guess.
That
But
that's the taste. You have to figure out what the song needs. You know, sometimes you just want to kick the door down immediately, SWAT team style, kaboom,
yeah,
and sometimes you want to, lean into it.
yeah,
But I think we got it. It's a pretty cool little thing we put together.
yeah. And it's I said this before, but this was not like an overnight thing where we're like, hey, let's just jam for a week. I one thing I've said this on stream before, but I am a notorious perfectionist, and I wanted to have this album sound really good. Like my mission was not to like outdo Earthbound Dystopia, but in the demo days of recording this EP, I'm like, it's not up to standard, and you tweak and you tweak and you tweak and you tweak, and eventually, you just kind of have to let go and just like, fuck it. So, I think you guys like the production on this, but I think if anything, production is always secondary to the strength of the songs, and I think we continue to evolve our sound. Now that we have this tank cover with clean vocals, and we're trying like this old new wave of British heavy metal tune. We're always doing new stuff, and including Another Day with the sort of Voivod-esque vocoder stuff, and But I think if anything, that song in particular really encapsulates what Scythelord is about. It's not your stereotypical sort of thrash metal. It's a little unconventional, and it's talking about things that aren't burning churches and Satan, because that is contrived and cliche. It's more contemporary, and you have a little bit of everything that leads up to that song in this EP. You hear old influences, you hear the sort of straightforward thrash of Razor. You have a little bit of everything that makes the band, or the final song that leads up to it. But I'm super fucking proud of it. And I think now after the stream we're gonna release it. And now I did this stream now because it's now the 25th here in Sweden. I don't know.
25th somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if the streaming platforms, if you use Deezer or Apple or whatever people use, if it's out in your region. The thing is, these are covers, and they need to be like the rights have to be cleared and stuff like that. So if this shows up like a couple days later, then you'll know why. But
they'll get on there. Don't worry. They might not be immediate. Just give it some time. But it will go live on Bandcamp. But as far as like iTunes and Spotify or whatever, you have to wait a little bit.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny too. I don't know. I think I saw Zero in chat earlier. The Void Crawler song is almost production-wise almost fitting into the rest of this. It could go on there, but because it's more of a Monkey Wrench related thing, it's not necessarily separating from it. But if you make a playlist or whatever and you sneak in Void Crawler in between these songs, you will hear a seamless sort of like, okay, this clicks into the rest of this. But I'm not here to talk. We've already talked about Void Crawler, but with Another Day, as I said, it's sort of encapsulates a lot of our influences and how we make music. But listen, I've been yapping all fucking stream for about 50 minutes. My goodness. But that's also because I played the album. But Frank, take it away. Take some questions. My goodness, I'm gonna go.
You wet your whistle or something, or
yes.
whatever. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was a hoot. We always like listening to our favorite tunes, and me and Joel were trying to think, okay, what do we do between Earth Boiling and whatever we got going on next? And I figure, hey, let's just have some fun. Let's get some songs together that we really, really like, kind of more or less equally. Let's throw in an original too and call it right there. Make some cool album art and give the people something to chew on. The thing with Zerl, it just sort of came by surprise. He approached us and he said, "Hey, you want to do a song?" And we were like, "Fuck yeah, we want to do a song." And I also did like a line in there, which is fun. It was the first time I ever did a voice roll for an animation. I thought that was really dope. and the music came out cool. It was super awesome to be a part of the, Monkey Wrench episode. I'm looking forward to seeing how that story plays out. With certain illnesses to a certain character or whatever. That was so cool. Oh, why can't I write fucking easier songs? Another day that was just like every song I write is like a love letter to Aspen, because that's like my number one favorite band. How fucked up and janky can I make it? But sometimes you don't want to do that, and I figure let's do the tank cover to just sort of mellow it out. I like ballads too, and it was really cool to have Joel do clean vocals for a change, as opposed to everything else being really screamy and all. And he really, really fucking tried and put a lot of effort to make this new sound. And it was he's come a long way, and he's grown a lot as like a vocalist too, and you can definitely hear that on that track. Uh, took a lot of attempts.
I'm back. Well, okay, hey.
No, I was just talking about how you were fucking going away trying to get the tank cover right with the vocals. You were really meticulous about the fucking details and shit.
Yeah, there was about 2,000 revisions to that song because, like, I was explaining this before, but the way that song is written is like the chorus starts on an odd beat. Like, it does not just go war. This means war. Like, it's a little delayed, and I really, because I was unfamiliar with that track, when we started like tracking all this stuff, and I had to like learn the secrets of the song. This sounds really strange, but the way it's sung, like I had to really like sit down in complete silence and be like, how does these notes transition? How do they segue? So we paid extra attention to that one, but I feel, I tell a funny story, chat. When I visited Frank, was this the first time? We actually went to a studio in Florida.
Oh yeah.
For violent restitution, and we have a wild story about this. So we are at Frank's. We are tracking the song, getting the parts, yada yada yada, and then we are gonna do vocals, and we're like, well, we don't. I forget what the reason was, but it's like not the mic, or we wanted to make it sound better, whatever the case. So we book studio time. We get there, and the guy, like, you brought like a USB stick or something, and the song would not load into the studio.
Yeah, I know why, because it was in the wrong fucking format. It was in some different format. I had to go back home.
Yep.
Email it to the producer guy, and it was just fucking mess. But it was a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah. It was crazy too, because I think we've been partying or something like that, and like my vocals is deteriorating more and more and more and more and more, and like we'll keep a bunch of takes. I don't think a single fucking take from that studio session ends up on the actual final recording here, but it was fun, and Frank's gonna kill me for saying this, but at the end of the day, when it's 3 a.m. and we're both tired, like, Frank, you do the vocals. You go do vocals, okay? So out there in some clandestine secret bunker, there's a recording of Frank singing "Violent Restitution." It's great, but you'll never hear it. But you can imagine it,
You can imagine. It's probably the goofiest thing. I don't sing that way, and trying to do the fucking shit at the end, I was like me trying to explode.
Yep. Yeah. But it's funny. It's funny. The guy in the studio, he's like, he was not a metal producer. Like, that's not his like jam. Like, it's not his like genre. And he had no idea what kind of vocals I was doing. And he I forgot what he said, but it's like, I meet him. We're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, sitting down, just making conversation. And as soon as track vocals, like, I did not expect you to sound like that.
Yeah. Ran into my old bandmate there too. That was funny. He was working there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, it's a small world.
Did you do the vocals on the ZP at home or the studio? I do like everything. Frank does everything at home. I do everything at home. We are like
Yeah.
totally self-producing, yada yada yada. The thing is, I will say this: I don't really know. I mean, listen, if you're a drummer, yeah, that totally makes sense. But if you're just tracking directly into a guitar amp sim or something like that, and you have a decent microphone and soundproofing, and you can totally do this. It's always a matter of money, of course, but studio. That kind of. I think we talked about this before, about how we are always doing this ourselves. But record labels these days is like there's no reason for it, unless you are like a Sony Taylor Swift person that is like producing 1 billion records a second. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But us, we just keep it totally home cooked,
DIY here.
Yeah. But what part of your apartment do you use for vocal recording? Do you use soundproofing? I do it where I'm sitting streaming. I know that sounds insane. I don't do it lazily, like sitting down. Like what I do is I have monitor speakers, and I'm often standing doing them, and doing that stuff because this is not a sit down job when you are like hunched over screaming your head off. Do my neighbors hate me? Let's just say this: for Scythelord, I have to be very, very, very like aware if I have neighbors or not, because with the shit that I make with my throat, that is an eviction notice day fucking one. Okay, so that's not happening. But a lot of people also ask this: when I play guitar on stream or whatever the case, and people think it's like that's my amp in the background. I don't even own an amp anymore. I don't. I actually gave my old amp to my dad. But nowadays, I know my sounds I like, and they have been like meticulously curated and evolved over the years. Like I can tell you guys like the gain settings and everything for Toxic Minds, and but I think Toxic Minds. I think I was talking to you about this a while ago, but Toxic Minds back in 2016 is a very flat sounding record because it is just my guitars, Frank soloing, and back then I was not really producing the drums that well. I was just like chuck them in, boom. Nowadays it's like you listen for clicks, you listen to sub frequencies, this and that, turn that down, turn it up. Back in Toxic Minds, it was just record, boom, wave. Okay, nowadays it's a little bit more complicated than that, but I say this to Frank often. Toxic Minds is about to turn 10 years, and we're not gonna re-record this thing. We are not gonna like remaster it or make a Toxic Minds 2. It is of its era and it stands on its own, and it just so happens that it's Toxic Minds. Everybody knows this record, Airplane Stop, everybody knows that record, and I like to make all albums sound a little different, I never used like a bunch of. I built everything from the ground up, and that was kind of the problem with making this EP, because one of the techniques that I mixed Earthbound Dystopia with, that particular like mixing technique was lost. I had like a. Frank often gives me shit about this, but I mix with about 10,000 layers in my shit, and finding the technique how I did it on Earthbound Dystopia when the knowledge was lost, I basically had to reverse engineer my own album and listen to how the fuck did I do this at the very beginning.
It's built.
Yeah, and I was like, how did I do this? So it was like a complete reconstruction of like a building. And once I got the sound, then I'm like, now we're on fucking track. Then it started getting easy. But up until that point, very unhappy with the sound. Like, it doesn't sound right. You can actually hear, because we put out the single for the Crippler, you can hear the difference in when I was very close to getting the sound I wanted to the actual finished product, where I'm like, that's it. That's how it should sound. So there's two versions of the song, some additions and stuff like that, but it's mostly the same. But you know, but as I said, every album, every record, all that stuff, they all sound a little different. They all have a little flavor palettes to it, you know. Real question: do you stand up when you do vocals? Because I can't imagine doing it sitting down personally. It depends what I'm doing. If I am doing harmony in background or like just something subtle, I can sit down for it. But most of the time, if I'm really serious about something, I will like stand or microphone. I will usually stand or do whatever the fuck, whatever it takes. It's one of those things where you don't really think about what you're doing; you just do them. You know what I mean? So that you guys are gonna do any more merch? Wow, Frank, take that question away.
Well, yeah, we got shirts, and I'm still trying to find a source on the beanie situation. It's just a little difficult with the current economy. It's been rough, and trying to find a source that isn't garbage and something that matches the previous quality. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a solution to that. But we do have the shirts, and they look fucking awesome. The print is great. We're gonna go live along with the album on Bandcamp, so check that out.
Yeah.
And if they go super quick, we'll get more. So don't worry if you miss out on this.
Yeah, I said this consecutively every single Scythelord stream we've done, but we make merch so we can make more merch. Does that make sense? We never turn into like, oh, this ginormous profit. Yes, now we can make the Scythelord hot air balloon. Right, it's like a continuous process of like, you guys want merch? All right, you can check out some merch, and then we can make more merch. So, you know, it's a very do-it-yourself approach that we've been doing for years now. But you know, I think most bands do that. I think generally, you know, bands nowadays, especially metal, unless you're like legitimately just Megadeth or Metallica, it's basically for the love of the game, you know. We make stuff because we really want to make this cool music. And if you guys happen to check it out, that's really cool too. But we are here to announce that it's all a scam, okay? Now, this album you just heard to, it was a bunch of MIDIs. It was a bunch of MIDIs that we downloaded off, you know, YouTube. And we just took a bunch of Slayer MIDIs, and we just played them at double speed, and, you know, you guys didn't notice because I was jingling keys in front of your, you know, viewing or listening experience, and you didn't notice. But that's how we get you.
You got the scream on the Razor cover. It's pretty impressive how you managed to do that.
Yeah. The vocals that we just turned we just put a microphone into a microwave and said fuck it, you know. So hey, that's how all bands do it these days, you know. Grifting, everybody.
How the sausage is made.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see here. Will I ever play live? I don't care where I have to go, but I will attend. We have been trying to like talk about this for a while. We'd love to play live, but for a band that has been together for, you joined around Bone Brothers, and that's 2015, I believe.
Yeah.
So we have known each other for 10 years. We're not unique in this case where we haven't played live. However, we have played live in person when we visit each other, if that makes any sense. You know,
I mean, I guess, but that's not really what they're talking about.
Yeah,
they want a show where they can go, or there's venues and other bands and shit.
Yes.
I don't know. I think the coolest spot, and don't hold me to shit. This is just me spitballing. I think the coolest way to do this to do this in Sweden, because there's definitely a bigger market or, you know, interest there here in fucking Miami. In Miami, I have to fucking, if I gotta go see Demolition Hammer, I gotta go to the Czech Republic to go see them. I can't see them in America because they're touring in Europe whenever I'm free. You know, there's no fucking metal scene down here. So if it happens, it would be in Sweden.
It'll either be in Sweden or it'll be at Joe's Bar and Grill. Check them out. But we will not be playing any original songs at Joe's Bar and Grill. We will be playing you know, whatever, you know, we always play playback. People too drunk to know anyway. We just like jam, you know. Was there any cut songs from this EP? I remember there's a bunch of cut songs from Earth of Dystopia since you're such a perfectionist. Not really. Not really. There was nothing here that we said, nah, scrap it. The build up to Earthbound Dystopia, that was a real segue because, you know, our sound and sort of technical proficiency on creating these songs were evolving at such a rapid pace after, you know, Toxic Minds, because Toxic Minds is very much like more me record. And when Frank really like solidified his presence in the band and we started writing these songs like really together, that's the sound of Earthbound Dystopia, and that's when it shit evolved from, you know, I'm not trying to dog on Toxic Minds here, but you start hearing the sort of progressive stuff that's getting into Earthbound Dystopia, and a lot of the songs that did not make it on Earthbound Dystopia still had that Toxic Minds sound to it. And, you know, if shit don't cut the mustard when we write stuff, we will not include it. We won't like recycle stuff, you know. If it's really good, maybe it could, but it has to really stand out and be decent. And that's why you don't have 12 Scythelord albums a year. But you know, if we didn't care about it, you could have had that, and this band would have been not so good. It would have been full of shit. So no key.
Well, we don't know what it could have been. It could have been anything, you know.
Well,
it could have probably found someone else or whatever. We
you
don't
know. The circumstance of everything, like everything mutates, evolves, or like whatever. I mean, you know, I've said this before, but it is pretty crazy that, you know, through, you know, me streaming a Super Mario Brothers ROM hack, this is like, here's a skeleton Mario, you know, you send me an email, we start talking on Skype, and I'm like, Skype. All right, yeah, fucking Skype.
Yeah,
Skype
showing our age with that one.
Yeah, and you know, but it's pretty crazy. Would you ever release the cut scrap songs one day for another EP or something? You can hear some of that stuff on the Dawn of Harvest. However, big caveat here: the Scythelord website, scythelord.band, will be updated, will be replaced. You can maybe get it on there. You can find it on YouTube, maybe. But that website right now is going to be retired because we I won't go into detail on what happened, but the web hosting service that we are basically doing is we're gonna totally switch this up. We're gonna like scythelord.com or whatever the fuck. But yeah, it's been a nightmare because basically we can't get a hold of the guy that hosts this website for us. So eventually it'll just be a 404 and replaced with some crypto scam, right? So I would say for now, disregard that website and just keep your ears up for the new one because, you know, we'll get all that shit. Anyway, somebody asked, how do you learn to do thrash death vocals? I'm an alto, but I would love to learn those awesome harsh vocals myself. A lot of people on YouTube will give you technique and whatever and how to do fry screams, and let me tell you something. Not have I ever in my life ever done things from a teacher. All right, guitar, completely self-taught. Singing, completely self-taught. For me, singing is kind of like working out. You know, you start sounding shitty, but then you start to be like, oh, now I kind of have the secrets of this. Now I can lift more, you know, because when you do things over and over again, you repeat it and you realize, you know, what you're doing. But I would say as a starting point, if you want to learn how to do this kind of stuff, I would say if there is a particular song, record, album, whatever, band, and you're like, you know, this is really influencing me, I would say maybe start a little bit under your breath. You can eventually work out to belt out things and you realize, oh, this is kind of harder than I thought. For me, it is easier to sing harsh vocals than it is to sing clean vocals because I guess my throat is more used to that kind of sound. And lately I was talking about this. Vork and Scythelord is separating more in different directions. Where Vork early on with the skeleton metal records, there was like a little bit of Scythelord in it, but I think the direction where that stupid shit is going, that is mutating its own thing, but occasionally, you take one thing and adapt it to the other one, because ever since I think Skeleton Metal X, I started doing like more clean stuff, and because, as I said earlier, you learn something, you practice it, and eventually it manifests itself onto other projects, like hearing clean vocals on the tank cover. But for the record, everybody, if you guys are curious about Vork Scythelord and what I'm doing there, maybe you'll hear that Car album by the end of the year, but this took complete priority. All right, it was never like, this album is going really good. Let me hit the brakes on this great album we're making, so I can make more stupid songs about getting my dick stuck in a muffler. Okay, that's not my priority. But now that this is done, there's going to be more time for like streaming or this and that. But as I said at the start of the stream, if I started streaming and you're like, my goodness, you sound like complete shit, that's because at 8 in the morning until 8 p.m. it's I hyper fixate TM on projects. I get super into them. Like once I'm like, that sounds great, and I keep going and going and going and going and going. I get like obsessed with a thing, right? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I should do a stream today, and it's just, hey guys, how's it going? Sometimes streaming takes a hit because we make stuff like this. It's really cool that you guys got to hear this. You guys were the first to hear it, kind of like Earthbound Dystopia as well. So I think you'll do more songs in Swedish in the future for Scythelord. I love Just a Memory. Just a Memory is in Swedish specifically because Anti-Cimex, classic crust punk band from Sweden, and it's sort of a quasi-tribute, kind of like we did here, even though these were straight up covers, but that invoked the spirit of Anti-Cimex. Anything goes. Sky is the limit when it comes to creating music. There is no limits on anything really, as long as it sounds good. All right, that's the criteria.
Or, it's in line with what we want to do.
Yeah.
We might just want to throw a curveball in the middle of it because we just fucking want to.
Yeah. I think if anything, I think you guys are curious about what is the next thing for Scythelord, and Scythelord 3 inevitably, right? I will say this: I love to shock people. I love to surprise people, and I think if anything, the sort of sounds you heard on Another Day with sort of industrially voivody stuff, I want to tap more into like weird industrial sounds. I like to one thing, I can do a big reveal here, and I don't care if it's NDA or not, but it is hypothetically a thing, right? I make a lot of like synthesizer work, and I experiment with sounds. A lot of the Scythelord songs sound so full because there is like subtle things going on in the background and just backing things up. You might have heard that in Void Crawler. You have in the middle part before the solo, you hear these big echoey sort of spacious sounds and stuff like that. I love to do that sort of stuff, and I definitely want to experiment with more stuff with that for Scythelord 3. But one of the things I want to mention here, and I think Dr. Nose is gonna kill me, but
he will.
We're talking about me composing the soundtrack for future Voice of the Void related stuff. Because you guys have never heard this kind of stuff, but it is very much in line with the soundtracks of the songs. It is just ambient stuff, but I love synthesizer work. I love Brian Eno weird soundscape music TM. Now don't take that as the law of God here, saying like you're gonna do this. This is me and Dr. Nose shooting this shit. there might be nothing from it in like the like a bonus track or something like that. But all I'm trying to say is I am truly one of these people that say they listen to everything as long as it's good. I do not restrict myself to just what do you call it? One genre. But it is what it is. So you listen to baby metal? Oh yeah, I love war metal, man. Anyway, Frank, take a question.
How hard was it to get clearance for song covers? It's not that hard. There's a lot of services you can, reach through and they'll secure it for you. They're usually pretty chill. It's a matter of time more than, you know, battling with the legal system. Will you ever fully release the Manila Road cover? The thing is, I don't think was that ever like finished, or was it just that bit that got released that was done?
I think we had a demo at one point. I might have teased it on stream or something, and I think what also happened is that we started playing the song in D standard, and then we started playing it in E, and then we changed out the bass sound for it. I changed out the vocal style for it for more of a true to the original style, and it's got so many revisions that like I don't think there's any full version of it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we were actually sort of. I think we were making like idle chatter about this, but we when this was done, it's like should we throw on something quick on here? And you mentioned like maybe the Necropolis cover, and I shot that down because I'm like, no, that's too good.
That's too good.
That's too good.
No, you just want to shit something out.
Yeah.
Something shittier than that.
Yeah, we don't. We just want to. If there were to be another track on there, it would have to be like Nuclear Assault, Hang the Pope or something. It's like almost like a gag, right? Because I know for a fact that if we did a thing as a joke in Scythelord, I'd still take it really seriously, and I would not want to compromise marriages because like, oh, it's a quick one, And knowing the perfectionist that I am, I would like not be able to sleep, knowing like, that song really sucked, But it is what it is. Yeah. Let's see here. Unironic baby metal enjoyer here. Try to listen to Megitsune as your first baby metal song. Listen, I don't have a problem with baby metal. Frank is rolling his eyes here. I don't have a problem with baby metal. It's
picking up my eyes off the floor.
Yeah. It's more so I don't think it's metal. I listen to a lot of genres, but for me it just sounds like J-pop. Maybe I haven't heard enough songs, but I think from what I heard, I'm like, I don't know if it's really my jam. I mean, respect and kudos for them incorporating a metal aesthetic to it, but I don't know, man. When I think of Japanese metal, man, I think of shit like Outrage and Old X Japan, But again, maybe I just haven't heard enough. Gatekeeping metal. Sure, you might be accusatory and say that to me, but that's only because I love this shit so much that I hate for Coca-Cola. Or actually, you know what happened? You know why I sound like I gatekeep metal? Because this is something that is near and dear to me. And when H&M released a clothing line that simulated the metal look with fake band names on their like shit, that made me want to throw up in my mouth. Okay, so yeah. By the way, if you haven't heard about this was like 10 years ago. They
and
basically
he's never forgotten since.
No, I completely run out of spike. but yeah, they basically released a clothing line, kind of like how they kind of perpetrated Nirvana into a clothing brand. They like, hey, we're gonna make like battle jackets for people that like the look but don't want to invest time into learning the bands or respecting the music. So we're just gonna make like fake looking metal logos all over your fake like leather jacket, and they say shit like skull or battle death, but listen, here's the thing. Whatever you listen to, if you like baby metal, if you like listening to 100 gex and you really like it and you're passionate about it, that's more respectful than anything. Frank and I will listen to a lot of goddamn music, and you know, I think it is. I think I had the same speech about this on Earthbound Dystopia, but limiting yourself to one genre is detrimental to the music, because like I don't know if I said this, but the intro riff to Masquerade of Hate was based on like a synthesizer thing I heard in like a techno track. Like the drums had a sort of a bouncy feel to it, and I extrapolated. Like I didn't steal like the drums or the feeling of it, but it invoked some energy. I'm like, I want to try making something in the style in the metal, and it just mutates, you know. So yeah, I've been playing flute and guitar for like 10 years. Flute is difficult because all recorders sound like shit. Okay, you should gatekeep something that is near and dear to you. Otherwise, this kind of corporations will ruin it. Here's what I say. You can introduce people to metal, but you should also give them the impression that this music is ultimately not that serious. And if you have a good time listening to it, fuck it. Just don't make any like fake shirts and sell to Coca-Cola, please. You know. I ordered the shirt, so friggin' excellent. Well, excited.
Oh, hey,
well,
thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, if it runs out, we'll get more. If it runs out super quick. Doing vocals for a single. I don't know. Maybe something in the background. Maybe background vocals.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I think Joel mostly has the voice of the band, but going forward, we have no fucking idea what's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
you know, just keep an eye
So
out.
if you guys on Scythelord 3, you know, hit play on this record and you're like, why the fuck does it open up with the accordion into a boss heavy metal zone? What the fuck am I listening to? And then it goes into a 1932 syncopated beat with some like jazz scatting while a goat is strangled. Don't be too surprised, you know, because if anything, the antithesis of art for me is when it's boring, right? When things get predictable and when things are like whatever, then I'm just completely turned off by it. It's kind of like, you know, this is for metal fans. I don't know what the fuck Destruction is up to, but Destruction is the most boring band ever.
Oh boy.
I liked, you know, Cracked Brain, Mad Butcher, you know, Total Disaster. I like all those things, but Disaster just pumps out records and they all sound the same. It is like, it almost sounds like it's AI generated. And if your music, if your craft can easily be recreated by AI, you know you got a problem, right? But if it's something that a fucking microwave cannot recreate, then you're onto something, right? But coldest take I've ever heard. Well,
Is that why AI struggled to replicate your voice, because it's so fucking off sometimes?
Well, yeah.
Remember, what was that thing? Sting of Flit? What was that shit?
Yeah,
With the
Buttsauce.
yeah, that. It sounded funny, but
Yeah.
no. Yeah, you gotta. I don't know. I'm not big on Destruction. There's a few riffs I like, but as far as I'm concerned, Sodom fucking eats them all. That's my favorite German band.
Yeah.
Maybe what was another one? It's not coming to me.
I almost died in the fucking pit to Sodom. And you know, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was in Texas, and you've seen that in the Trip to America footage, but the Crippler is like the best song, in my opinion, of Tapping the Vein. You know, One Step Over the Line, great. You know, Body Parts, awesome songs. But the Crippler, I fucking love that song. The bass is so grisly, and the sort of echoed low vocals after the main, you know, spoken, the Crippler, it's so awesome. Now, here's the thing. They usually don't play this fucking song, right? And they played it last time. Actually, we included a thing based on a performance live in Tokyo, 1992. Sodom is performing the Crippler, and there's a dive bomb squeal at the very beginning, and that separates the old single version to this one, and it's the same live version ad lib that is now on here. But anyway, I think that's the last time they played the Crippler, because then they moved on with Masquerade and Blood and whatever. But Tap in the Vein's an awesome record. My point is, they never fucking played this, and guess what? We're already recording this and going to be put on the album. Right? Frank and I, we love this song. Guess what the fuck they like second song in, front row, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I'm like, holy fuck,
yeah. Oh,
what?
that's it. And Joel looks at me, and it's at nighttime. I can barely see. I could see how fucking glowing his eyes were. It was like, holy shit, they're playing the song. And then he fucking disappears into the pit. It was awesome.
Similar thing happened when we saw Razor live. You know, Violent Restitution. It's like, these are like favorite songs on here. You know, I'm like, you know, when you see a live band, they'll play your almost top favorites, right? They'll play like, oh, the track 4. You know, I like that song, and you might like, I don't fully remember all the lyrics, but I love the song anyway, right? And fucking, I'm front row, and I just hear like echoing through the home, Violent Restitution, and I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
I think my head popped like a zit.
Oh,
like that.
Man.
You know, crazy, but you know, it's great. We saw Tank, by the way. Yeah. We saw Tank in Texas. That performance that they did is on a Tank EP now called Live in Texas. We are somewhere off in the crowd as they're performing these songs. Here's the thing, though. Tank is notorious for this. There was like 3 versions of Tank going on at the same time. There was Aggie's Tank. There was like a Tank and another Tank. If you go on Metallica,
right?
Yeah, on Metallica, it's like status disputed. So it was bizarre. And when we saw Tank, we're like, oh, Tank's playing. Like, yeah, but who are these guys? Who are these guys, you know? Yeah. I would love to hear a cover of a new song by Nuclear Assault. Frank thinks the guy from Nuclear Assault sounds like Sam Kinison.
No, that is Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison played guitar. That's him. Yeah. It sounds exactly like him. I was talking to Vinny, and he mentioned Sam Kinison, and I had half a mind to say, did you know Sam Kinison didn't really die? He just faked his death to moonlight as a frontman for a thrash band group for Nuclear Assault. Yeah, I could fucking fool him. It sounds dead ringer. It's awesome. Yeah.
So see. Hey Joel Bodel, do I like Opeth? I don't know if I like Opeth, but I met the singer a long ass time ago. He was like in my town. I think I was so drunk. We're at a bar, and you know I got some of my metal friends who are like, "Fuck, it's Mikael Opeth." I'm like, holy shit. I went up to the guy and I said, hey, let me tell you something. I think your band sucks, but I'll buy a beer because you're great. That really felt, I don't fucking know. But he was wearing an Opeth shirt. He had the pencil mustache and the long hair. And he said, all right, you know. Hey, it is, you know. So plans are going.
Changed since then?
Plans are going next year. The lineup is kind of meth. In Texas on, what is it? Holy shit, what is the fucking concert called?
What, Hell's Heroes?
Hell's Heroes, yes. I was thinking I'll keep it true. Hell's Heroes. I haven't actually seen the lineup. But the problem with seeing these giant metal, like, you know, gatherings is that it's super fun, it's super cool, but the travel and everything involved with it is like, it's a lot. And I'm gonna tell you something. The last day, I think I said this in the in Trip to America video, but by the end of the last day, when you're seeing one of these metal things, you are so muddy, you're so fucking tired that you're like, dude, just give me some fucking whale noises right now. I'm so tapped out of this metal shit, you know, that I will say this, no hate. We saw Rotting Christ. Like, they performed great, but at that point, I hit my zenith. I was like, I'm out of here. Okay, can't stand this shit no more. All right, and I was just like, I don't want to hear another distorted guitar riff. I don't want to hear another triggered snare. I'd rather listen to birds, you know. But will
Well, we did, yeah. We
will
did get a
will
respite.
that's true. That's true. Um, all metaled out. I can't imagine how fucking awful that must be when you are one of those like walk-in shows and you're in a tent and you're
Oh
drinking
no.
all fucking day. You pass out in a tent and you wake up to the sound of like 300 decibels of "You guys ready to rock?" I fucking
No, I
tear off
need a
my own head.
shower. I need silence. I need, air conditioning. Well, maybe not so much that, but my own space. I don't
So
like
that,
to, no,
oh, it's great when you're
can't do that.
drinking enough. Frank, when Frank and I party, Frank, for some reason, loves to make me puke.
Oh, yeah.
Frank is an expert at making me want to puke. When we have been drinking and we've been playing F-Zero and we've been having fun doing metal quiz and shit, there's always like a beer left on my TV table, and the next day Frank will like take that beer and drink it, set to Nazareth's Hair of the Dog, and
And
I
the
just
look you gave me is like I stabbed a baby. It was grotesque.
oh god.
It, I wasn't too roughed up, but you were definitely, I don't know if it's the diabetes that makes you more susceptible to it.
No, it's the fact that there's too much alcohol in my body, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to. Whatever. There was one point. The most fucked up Frank and I ever got was not like related to that. For one, I think it was New Year's. We watched MXC, Most Extreme Eliminations
Oh
Challenge,
God, no.
and I think we did straight up shots if our guy did not make it.
Yeah, we
And
had to. Yeah, we had to like see if the guy was gonna make the challenge. Most of the time they didn't, so we
yeah,
fucking got stupid.
yeah, and
But
let me tell you something. The day after,
it was a while ago.
we were so sick. All that I wanted to eat, I could eat that day, was like beef stock in a bowl with water that was hot. I cannot take anything like. I never want to experience this again. Fuck that. All right. But yeah, it is what it is.
That sucked.
Yeah. Said
I don't do that shit no more.
no. Last time I puked was 2020. I think I always think of this one video that Frank and I've been linking each other. It's this guy. What is it? This guy in a flannel.
It's hell yeah.
Yeah. It's a Metallica fan that is super drunk, and he's like, he's in the vibe, and he goes, "Hell yeah, yeah."
It won't stop. He just keeps puking. He's so
Does it
terrible.
when you're in that zone? That is when it's time to go to beddy buys. Okay, how
Oh
it
my
feels to
God.
watch Scythelord.
Oh hell yeah.
San Andreas puking, yeah, you betcha. But yeah, why you make so little of the shirts? Well, you see, if we did too much of the shirts, Frank's house would be filled with shirts, and my main man could not live. He would be suffocating in a labyrinth of cloth. Okay, so
Well, we get them as we need them, But I gotta just get more. But I will order in more soon.
yeah, I think every time I go over to Frank, I snag one of our inventory. It's like, ooh, shirt. It's like, yeah, but it's for
Ooh,
us.
piece of candy.
Yeah, it's like you're eating out of your own supply. Never get high off your own supply. I'm like, ooh, Frank, will you start making a giant cloak out of the shirts?
I'll just
Cloak.
make myself a little what do they call it? A quilt? Yeah, I'll just make a
Yeah.
quilt of all the other ones. And then make a little
By the way,
quilt.
speaking of tracking this album and stuff, we're getting really off track here. Frank owns so many goddamn guitars, and I track everything that I do with my trusted SG. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm actually lying. I actually use my Ibanez for some moments on Masters of the Scythe. How many guitars do you own?
Well, I'll just say this: the amount of guitars I recorded this EP with was three. It was ESP, a comparison, and a Gibson Les Paul. It was Those three, I'm pretty sure. And the Warwick bass is the best fucking bass guitar I've ever owned. I will never need another bass guitar. That is the best
No, the
fucking
that
sound ever. I love it.
the that work bass, man. That is like a thing that is so emphasized in Scythelord. Like you hear the bass so clearly. The bass is so thick and like not muddy and accentuated in the riffs. Like and the mixing process of getting that bass to sound right is also like a big deal. But a lot of people say I can't hear the bass in metal, or I can't hear the bass or whatever. Like for me, that is like if you don't hear it and it's just in the background or whatever, it's because you have 9 strings on your guitar and it all sounds like sludge. Okay, so don't do it. The bass on Rod of Asclepius always knocks my socks off.
Well, that was a lot of fun to track because you know the notes are so far apart, but it, you know.
But yeah,
So you
the
get playing in
bass,
prog band,
the
playing
Warwick
stupid shit
bass
like
that Frank owns, I asked him about it. It's like a specific German model or something, right?
Yeah. If you're gonna get a Warwick bass, there's the rock bass, which is like I think made in China, which if you're in America is going to be very fucking expensive to get right now. Might as well go for the German ones, because they're really good.
Yep.
I fell in love with it. It's
Yeah.
I mean you hear how fucking good it is.
Yep. Yep. I think like it's a 5-stringed bass too, and I hear you know when you listen to This Means War, you know before the solo, you're definitely hitting like the low string on it, and it's this
Oh
big
yeah.
thud. It's great.
And I amended the bass guitar for that song like a few days ago. I'm like, you know what? It's good. I played it safe. And then I was like, you know what? Let me try to not be too stiff with the bass playing.
Yeah. A bit
Because
off
I think
top.
it's an important part. Yeah.
Yeah. A bit off topic. Was there any story behind the collab with Annihilator's bass player on Skeletal Metal X? And have you guys ever interacted with the artist that you cover? Well, to answer the first question, a bit off. No, it was just Skeletal Metal X was just like I want to used to reach out to like an insane amount of people that are also musicians. See, like, do you want to collab and do like random stupid shit? And that's like with the Hot Dad thing. And I'm like, the guy from Annihilator is available for like session work. I'm like, that's insane. I'm like, that gives my album so much merit. The guy from Annihilator played on it, but then you realize that Annihilator, it's really Jeff Waters and the guys. It's like Dave and the
Jeff Waters and the Annihilators. You know, it's
Yeah,
a revolving door. It's like fucking Megadeth.
yeah.
You know,
It's almost like a not a one man band, but it's like one person and a bunch of incidental people. Very talented bass player and everything, but it's not like we got Robert Trujillo here, but it's more incidental. I'm like, holy shit, the guy from Annihilator, really? You know, but to answer your second question, interacted with the artists that you cover. I forget who it was. Maybe it was the guitarist from Target that dropped a comment on our Mission to the Andes.
Oh
yeah. And that was really cool to be noticed
that was
by.
really out there.
Yeah. That was really cool. I think when
We also
were
got an email from the vocalist from that album. That was really cool. I totally didn't expect that.
We when we were in Japan the first time. Was it the first time? Was it the second time? I think we saw Hyrax live,
Okay.
and you know I don't get starstruck over people, but like Caton, I'm like, holy fucking shit, you know, and I started making small talk with him, but my voice was done after seeing Hyrax live, because you know I'm one of those crazy assholes where like I don't need like a microphone. It's like Tenacious D. I scream so loud live that like I want to be heard in the crowd above everybody else. So I'd been screaming my ass off at Bombs to Death and all these songs, and afterwards I'm like, hey Kate, I'm a really big fan. Hey, you know, I'm like, I came all the way from Sweden to see you guys, you know, like insane. But that's where the photo is of me and Kate, and you know, posting. You've seen it online, but I showed him Bombs to Death, and so it was really cool. His vocals are brutal, man. I'm like, oh really? Like, oh really? That was really fucking cool. But he's a cool guy. I loved. By the way, a lot of people have been asking: is Faster Than Six like inspired by Faster Than Death? 20% I would say, but generally I'm like, oh, that's such a stupid title. Sometimes I will create Vork Scythelord material just based how stupid they sound on a track list. Like, all right, yeah, sure. But then you're like, oh, no, I have a song. It's like an idea, right? But no, I mean, honestly, that album, I can't even like name it anything better. Like, if I call an album a bunch of ridiculous songs about fucking cars, I think that's going to be like labeled as terrorism. It's not going to be available for anybody. So I wonder if the Minecraft developers heard sex in Minecraft.
Is it that popular? I don't know.
It certainly exists out there.
It exists.
But yeah. But Super Ghostbusters, I think, if anything, it has a lot of views and people have heard it. People aren't even familiar with shit. But yeah. Let's see here. Did you like Fast and Death? Oh, honestly, I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it because, you know, there was something so awesome about hearing Hyrax play totally uncompromised stuff. Like, we're talking about like the shit you make when you're 14 and you make a thrash metal song and you're like, I just want to play 200 BPM. Fuck it, you know, just total speed, just total aggression. And you know, Hyrax's records after the reunion in the 2000s, they were a little more mellow and more like epic in terms of instrumentation. But here comes this fucking record that's just start to finish, angry, fast, post-apocalypse wasteland thrash. And I just love the aesthetic of that, of totally uncompromised, you know, sticking with something that you want to create. You know, people want fucking fast Hyrax, you got it, you know. But yeah. I wonder who picked up the Super Ghostbusters CD in New York City. I don't think anybody did. I think some janitor threw it in the goddamn trash, you know.
I like to think someone's mind was blown that day and they never heard anything like it.
Yeah, I think definitely next meetup that we do, we definitely got to have some CDs and just give it up to random people. Because I don't know if you guys remember the EBD sort of teasers or the promos on YouTube. Hey, what are you listening to? You know, that's what I want to do. People just pass me by, hey, you want a free CD? But the problem is people are going to be like, what the fuck is a CD? Be like, hey, you have this QR code that you can scan for a Deezer play. You know?
No, please, no. If it's like the shit at restaurants. Give me a goddamn menu. I don't want to scan shit with my phone.
Yeah.
But you know, it's boomerism, whatever.
If you guys are curious if we're gonna do CDs for this, I don't know about that. Maybe, but we have talked about this.
Yeah.
We have talked about this. But the way to go if you're gonna print physical is vinyl. Vinyl is a whole thing to talk about because vinyl is very expensive, and I saw somebody mention that the shirts are going quick now, which is very, you know, I bow my head and say, holy shit, thank you so much. But vinyls is a complicated thing because not only does the mixing have to be different on it to like not sound like crap, and you know, but printing them is very costly to do. But never say never. Never say never. So I can't play vinyls in my car though. Yes, you can. Car battery, vinyl up on the windshield. Boom, you got it. Boom. Wait. So sort of off topic, but is there any non-thrash death thrash bands you guys would have say influenced Scythelord?
Okay, well, I'll say this. I've been listening to Billy Idol since I was a kid, and Steve Stevens is one of the greatest fucking guitar players of all time. He's influenced my guitar playing, along with Paul Gilbert especially. I mean, those guys are not really death metal or anything like that, but I mean, ask me another day, I'll say another answer. But you know, there's a whole heap of stuff that we're both inspired by.
You know, I'm inspired by so much different stuff, but you know, it's weird when I think about it because, you know, Frank's like main man band is Aspid, and you told me that there was like an interview where they asked These Russian
Yeah.
guys. What are you guys inspired
Yes.
by? And it's like the Beatles. Like what the fuck?
No, what he said was the guitar player for Aspid, which Aspid's like one of the most fucked up, crazy bands. It's my favorite band. But anyways, they asked the guitar player, "Oh, what are your influences?" "Oh, I like Jimi Hendrix and Metallica." What fucking Jimi Hendrix are you listening to? I need to hear this.
Yeah. I think we have a website. I forgot what I think it's maybe CD Baby or something like that. And we're one of the few fucking bands that are completely honest about what really inspires us to make this kind of music. It's like influences Morbid Saint, Razor, Aspid, shit like that. Because it's like that is the kind of music we play. It's not like I'm gonna be like, yeah, what inspired you to create this fucked up music? ZZ Top.
Although,
Really?
I mean, I don't know. ZZ Top's another weakness of mine. You know. God, I fucking love ZZ
Burger
Top. I
Man.
could talk about that for days.
I love how the Aspid bass player said he eats like a kilo of honey every day. What?
Yes, yes, yeah. And he talks about thrash like it's a disease, and his wife is like making his suffering easier or some shit like that. It's awesome. That fucking interview is amazing.
Inspiration: Beach Boys, Elvis, Wesley Willis. So that I found the Siberian rock and metal radio on Radio Garden. They play generally so much good shit, but the bands straight up seemingly don't exist on the internet. That's the good shit, okay? My
Yes.
half brother, I swear to God, he has vinyls like laying around that do not exist on fucking Discogs and shit like that. Like they're like bootlegs of like things, and I love things that are completely unavailable on the internet. It's like the most exciting thing because everything's archived nowadays. You can find anything, but then you come across shit that's like, wait, what the hell is this? No one has touched this stuff. It is like totally clean from the internet's influence, and that's really cool. So you find some great songs on online radios, especially around the early AM times if possible. I have like traumatic memories of you guys remember the website Last FM? Last FM had a like metal radio you can listen to, right? And it was like a thrash metal radio, but they didn't like vet their fucking playlist, and they were just using complete random stuff. So the term thrash metal can mean so much. So like track 1, Pleasure to Kill Crater, you're like, all right, fuck yeah. And then what happens afterwards? Nothing Else Matters, Metallica. And like, what the fuck? Because they don't separate like the eras of a band. Like I shit you not. I was listening to, there used to be an old it was called like All Points Bulletin. It was this like GTA clone that was online, and what it was that it was connected to Last FM. If you played a song, it would play for everybody else using Last FM technology. And I think around that time I found like a playlist or like a radio station, either within the game or something else. I was listening to it. The problem is that they included, when you have a radio station, you cut off the fat in a song. Like, let's say your intro is like nothing but like a bunch of birds and a bunch of like nuclear bombs falling. You cut that off and go right into the middle, right? They included a secret track off the end. So on the radio, it was 12 minutes of silence and with like someone burping at the end. And I just had to take it, man. Because I'm like, oh yeah, it's thrash metal. Like the gag song came on, So, nothing. You listen to nothing.
This is what you like? Really?
Yeah, this is what you like?
This is your music?
Let's see here. AVP was an interesting fucked up ordeal. It was just fun to screw around for a week, yeah. I don't remember too much about the game, but I remember getting sold on them, the idea that I could like mic spam other people with my music interest. That was the selling point for me. Like, oh man, So can the album on the CD contain a fart track at the end? Yes, absolutely. However, VA No Magician, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make that special just for you. We're gonna change the cover, and it's gonna say for VA No Magician, and basically just exclusive for you. But listen, because we are your friends, we are gonna charge up the ass for it. Okay, I mean, we're gonna give you a special discount price. Now it's gonna cost $5.99 friend coins. All right. Now one friend coin is about 59 million US dollars, and that's a bargain. Could you imagine? Could you imagine what these other guys are paying for it? That's right, you buddy, you are gonna be swimming in the pool of music. Friend, who buy the Dip Boys.
Someone was asking any other cool releases this year. I struggle to answer that question because I'm always going back in time trying to figure out what I missed. There's so much music coming out, I don't even know how I can catch up with it. Uh, I don't know. I mean, they put out the Hyrex put out that record this year, right? Didn't
Yep.
they?
Yep.
I mean, that was fucking awesome. I mean, it's just track after. It's very punk, very
Yeah.
old school, where it's like Hate, Fear, and Power, where it's just okay. It's just fucking bang these out at
Yeah.
1,000 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and
Um,
I like that. A band this long in the tooth, they're still fucking speeding.
I think the best album this year is Coroner's new record, just because it's so
Oh
goddamn
yes,
anticipated. I listened to it back to back, and I'd say this: it reminds me a lot of like Grin, and that is not a bad thing. A lot of people like don't like Grin, but my brother's a huge Coroner fan. He actually listened to that Grin CD so much he actually wore it out. I've never heard of anybody wearing out a CD, but he did. And Grin is one of those things that I like about like music, where like it's unconventional, it's different and weird. And I like the fact that like Corner came around, dropped an album, and it sounds very like mature, and like they don't need to play 400 BPM destruction riffs. It's got artistic merit, and that's what I like about it. But
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm a little about the new Warbringer album. I thought the previous one was a little bit better. I also didn't like the mix for some reason. Like, that's a very specific like complaint, right? But I thought it sounded a little too sharp in my ears. That's when you know when you have mixed music too. Maybe I had a bad day, but I was listening to it, I'm like, fuck, turn down the goddamn like cymbals or something. But it's sometimes you're just not in the mood for something, and it colors your judgment for years, and then you go back and be like, what the fuck, this is awesome, what are you talking about?
That's how I was with Voivod. I'm like, what is this shit? And
Yeah.
then I come back to it and I'm like, damn, what is this shit?
Yeah.
Totally different. And I was totally hooked from then on.
Heard the new Dark Angel, kind of meh for me, honestly. Frank and I have actually been talking about it. Yeah, the new Dark Angel, man. Wow. I don't know what to say, but
Oh no, we're talking about this.
we are talking about this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this: if you use an AI fucking generated cover for something you worked hard on, that is a short circuit for me. Like now, here's the thing. Let's play devil's advocate and say this: art is expensive to make. If you go on Grok or whatever and be like, make me a skeleton flying over a burning city. Right, okay, whatever. Right. But Dark Angel hasn't released an album in, Jesus Christ, like 30 years or whatever, 29 years. And you come back and that's what you do? I like to think, I like to play devil's advocate once again. Maybe the band didn't even pick the album cover. Maybe it was some janitor in the studio that they said, I can do this for free. It's like, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. But here's another thing. The album also sounds boring and flat, and the riffs are totally uninteresting, which sucks because Dark Angel, like Darkness Descends, incredible album. I like Leave Scars, Timeless on Heal. But yeah, I thought it was just painfully boring, But what sucks about it, in my opinion, this is where my Schadenfreude is like stops. They did like vlogs on YouTube talking about like this album's gonna blow people away. Dark Angel's back. We worked super hard on this. I can't wait for people to listen to this. And this is like an analog record. We sat in the studio and played these songs live with each other. So it sounds organic. And you listen to the fucking thing, and it honestly sounds like like a 14-year-old with a Line 6 Spider amp. And you're like, really? And he's playing, he's doing this on the guitar, you know? Just this. Yeah. For like 20 minutes. And you're like, really? Really?
Yeah, no, that was a huge letdown. In some ways, in a very messed up way, if you can understand where I'm coming from. When you saw the album art, you're like, okay, this is gonna be pretty shit, right? You know, because God forbid it would be an awesome album art, and it would be a holy shit, Dark Angel's back. This album art looks fucking awesome. Let's put it. Oh, this sounds really boring. This is crap. You know, you have that disappointment, but with the cover they have, you can just look at it and just immediately know what the score is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a warning sign. It's like a toxic label. Like, yeah, this is gonna be unbelievably a waste of time. But you know, I wish them luck. I hope that like they get their footing back. But you know, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just you know, with cool album artwork, you can at least get some cool merch.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if people don't even like the music, they can wear something that looks cool, you know?
Yeah. Spotify has this issue where a band is really generic, simple name gets this random AI generated albums that whoever created automatically added discography because they're called Kill or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that it is. I don't know what the fuck's up with that. Insect Warfare had a problem with AI generated shit. I love Insect Warfare. I love that one single album they put out. And it's actually funny too, because speaking of Violent Restitution, I think an EP was like referencing Violent Restitution on it. That happened to Death. I was so confused. I wish Spotify in particular could have a better separation of like artists sometimes, because everything just kind of gets like pooped together. But yeah, I don't know, man. Let's see here. Can't believe they let that happen to a band so huge of all things. Bands that have control over their own pages. Sleep constantly gets sleep music posted on their page.
they get here's like 5 hours of brown noise. Take it in, guys. It's heavy as shit.
Yeah.
What they're like a doom band, aren't they? I don't know.
They're very Black Sabbathy. Could you imagine?
Have you listened to Demon Hunter? I know Demon Hunter's in Killing Floor 2. I know Living Sacrifices in there. Yeah, they have some cool songs. There's two of them are Christian metal bands. There's another Christian metal band that was pretty good. What was it called?
It was like Rice.
No, that's like a brutal. No, it was Vengeance Rising or something. And then there was the album was called Every Knee Shall Bow. It was pretty intense shit.
I love that. This is gonna be very like not okay for people listening, but I don't give a fuck because we're on the Scythelord channel now, so you're getting raw shit, baby. Do you guys remember the BME Pain Olympics? Okay,
oh,
I can't believe I'm talking about this, but all right. Remember do you remember the old shock videos of ye old internet of goat seas and all that shit? There used to be these insane videos. I never watched this, by the way, but I saw the reactions on YouTube of this, and apparently it's a guy who shoves a like battery in his dick, and it's set to the Christian death metal band Mortification. And I always thought that was a little weird. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put a battery in my dick hole, and I'm gonna be playing Christian death metal.
I think it was something much worse than a AA battery going where it shouldn't.
Well, listen, I didn't watch it that long. I didn't sit there and be like, this is pretty good. This is a good time. This is a good time in my life, you know. Do they smash his balls with a hammer too? Well, yeah, I mean, par for the course, I guess. Then how do you know? Because I thought this song in the background as this guy was watching it was like, that's pretty good. And then you were like having to navigate a minefield, be like, what is that song in that video where a guy shove a battery up his dick and maybe smash it with hammer, you know? Anyway, so that's kind of how I found out about Mortification, which I think is kind of a crazy band because Yeah, we're gonna make very evil, music, but it's like saying, yeah, Christ is good. Treat your neighbors with respect and brush your teeth.
I think that was their claim to fame.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you work with Sweden time difference? Well, it's not that brutal. It's just 6 hours difference.
Yeah.
If it's like 1 noon time, it's just 6 in the evening time over in Sweden land. It's not that much of a difference. And we may not talk to each other like on voice every day, but we send a message and
Yeah.
then I get a message back the next day. It's nothing brutal or anything. You could
Thank
very well work around it.
thank goodness the fact that the internet is so developed these days that you can send off a 600 megabyte stem of a bass to somebody else. Imagine
But
doing
Joel,
this.
people don't like high-end music with high quality. They want bit crushed garbage. They don't want
People
the
want
mega
that
thick.
fucking YouTube to MP3. We're talking about that 96 kilobits per second. Talking about you know what I saw once. You know what I saw once. I saw a YouTube upload of a metal album that was labeled 4K and FLAC. And
What?
yeah, okay, so like, I think the highest thing on YouTube is 320 kilobits per second, right? But this guy was claiming, yeah, this upload is in FLAC. Like, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, and the image resolution was like 4K, but the actual image upload of the album art within was just like a random image from Google, So, you gotta listen to some high quality shit. So the people yearn for 2000s flash games, crunchy ass audio, Joel. Give them back what they want. I have a story about that. So way back in the day. This is like in 2001. There used to be a website called freesound.org. I don't know if they're still around. But way back in the day, you could, if you want to make like stick figure Lego animations, and you're like, I need a cool metal track. And that is how I discovered System of a Down for the first time. It was the mushroom kombucha people. And I'm like, this music is disgusting. I'm not picking this one. Give me an AC/DC. Why is the AC/DC on this website? Why does it sound so bad? By the way, this was like, imagine playing metal over like Gold Source in Half-Life. Okay, that's the quality of the download. And it still took like 3 hours to download. Quality, man.
Bandwidth, that was a fucking rarity back then. That was a commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Next Scythelord release, it's gonna be a Kaza exclusive. You're gonna have to figure out how to get that. We'll figure out how to upload it.
Speaking of System of a Down, Frank saw System of a Down.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they're fucking awesome. That's another band I really like. System of a Down. They're, man. My eldest sister was really into them and Static X and Rob Zombie and that kind of stuff. And no, I wasn't so much into those, but System was awesome.
I think it's unfair to I mean, they were just like incidentally part of a movement in rock music at the time where everything was new metal, but it's like System of a Down new metal. They felt more like fuck around music. It was just like kind of a shit posty thing that occasionally sounded great. I don't know why they were like labeled new metal, man. There's no raps in fucking System of a Down.
I guess new metal was sort of like a pretty broad term. You listen to Mesmerize. That was the first like System record I listened to. I'm like, oh wow, this is fucked.
Attack.
Bring Your Own Bombs is like, holy crap. Oh yeah, that one. How do you like that? They released 2 albums back to back, Hypnotize and Mesmerize. Fucking awesome. In the same year.
Yeah. I heard that the album covers were done by, was it was not Serge Dad. I think this guitarist, I forget what his name is. David? I don't know. Darren, yeah, that's what it is.
Darren Malakian?
Yeah. No, it's cool. Once I was clicking through random metal videos on YouTube and ended up finding something called Gore Grind. Very interesting experience, LOL. Oh yeah. I will say this. Grind bands are either the best shit you'll ever hear, or it's like some guy adding like trap bass, 404 kick, 808 kick, sorry, and just with like burp vocals, and people are like, "Yo, it's fucking awesome." I'm like, "What? Huh?" 404 kick, yeah. Are you guys familiar with the power violence side of things? I can't say I've listened enough power. I know about the genre, but Frank and I, we do like crust punk.
Yeah, crust, grindcore, D-beat, hardcore, the fast stuff, the metal adjacent stuff. I mean, if it's got a good fast beat, I'm in it.
Guys, I want you to do a challenge. Can you find a crust band that does not start a song without some massive wall of feedback? Go, 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 go,
Can you find a fucking thrash metal album in the 80s that didn't start with an acoustic interlude or some bullshit? Listen, that's the style. You can't knock the style.
Yeah. I do like those interludes for a little bit of Serenity music, but I do not like it when my Annihilator talks about swimming in the deep sea. That was too much. Let's swim in the deep sea.
I'm more of a chicken and corn type
Be
guy.
Your wonderland.
Hey, that being said, Fantastic Things by Annihilator, that's a fucking amazing song. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
One of Jeff's greatest solos.
Yes.
And that was actually a fucking scrap track from Set the World on Fire. Do you fucking believe that?
Yeah, and it was repurposed to be worse. It's one of those very things where you're like, damn it, why? Damn it. I know Holy Diver is an interlude that's more calming in the intro than the rest of the song. I there is a couple of, this is one of the cases where, like, so rare. Symptom of the Universe, Black Sabbath, arguably the first thrash metal riff, ends with like a hippie jam. Beam, 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 beam.
Well, it was what is of its time. You can't really help it.
Yeah, but
Kraft Dinner song, Macaroni
Maniac, Cheddar Cheese, Heart Attack.
Cheese, Heart Attack. That's a great song.
Yeah. Some of the Tom Warrior popularized the guitar feedback intro. Fight me. It's crazy how influential like Hellhammer and like Celtic Frost was. By the way, I've heard people refer to Celtic Frost as Celtic Frost because they're talking about the Celtics, like the basketball team. Celtic Frost. I think Stormtroopers of Death did one of those like songs. Whatever happened to Celtic Frost? Is it true that they got lost in the pandemonium? Any recommendations for thrash metals with clean vocals?
Trying to think here.
What? Okay, I think I had a discussion with Frank about this, but the problem is I am so damaged by this music into this abrasive, sound that I don't know what the limit is for like when people think it's too heavy. Like I've lost.
Toxic. That's a good one.
No, Toxic.
It's not
toxic,
clean.
No, but, it's too extreme. It's too hyperbolically like extreme. If it's just thrash metal with like this sort of singing in that way, in that regard, I would say try Metal Church. Not a pure thrash band, but yeah, if you want 80s metal with a bit of thrash-iness to them, Metal Church, sure. The Big Great Four have clean vocals except Slayer. What do you define as clean vocals? Clean vocals for me is anything that is not done like when you're singing with a bit of grit to it. So I don't know. I prefer Fear Factory for metal with clean vocals. I love Fear Factory. It's awesome. I love the manufacturer. Anthrax is probably the nicest sounding vocals wise, but they're the black sheep of the Big Four because they're from New York. I've never heard that opinion, but I think that in my opinion, I think that Anthrax never belonged in the Big Four. Maybe sales wise, I guess.
Oh, Joel, you're digging yourself a hole when you're saying that.
I know, but I always felt like Testament or Exodus should have taken their place. I don't know. But, all due respect, they are cemented into the thing. But you know, you could probably do like a big 15, big 15 of thrash. You know, they just kind of bore sorry to all the fans. I do like Among the Living. You know, I like what's that, the album Madhouse, State of the Cease, whatever. I'm not huge into Anthrax, but you know, any metal bands in different languages you recommend? Well, Frank.
We talked about it. Aspid, the Russian band, ASPID, like the snake,
Yeah.
asp, but ASPID, fucking extravasation. They even had like a fan tribute album. Every song was made by different bands in Russia, and the fucking intro track, the synth track, which inspired the Sky is Falling on Earth Boiling, it was made by just some like dungeon synth guy, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of other fucking Aspid freaks out there, so that makes me happy.
Well, the Aspidness is funny you mentioned that because again, you know, you have The Sky is Falling, and then if you guys really paid attention to the lyrics in Another Day, there is a meta reference to Aspid in it, vessel of extravasation, you know. But I was gonna say Frank is the expert here when it comes to like Far Eastern metal, right? He has extensive knowledge of like
Well, I don't know
Soviet era.
extensive.
Well, no,
I
I mean compared to me, I'm like, oh, I've never heard of these guys.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have the classic Russian bands. I'm just talking Russia because since we're already on it. There's Master. There's Aria. A lot of my knowledge kind of fell out of my ears. I've started listening to like more Western bands as I started to, you know, not as of late, anyways.
Somebody mentioned Shaw.
Oh, there's Shaw. Of course, I'd love to do a Shaw cover, man. Beware, such a good album. See Ho is a good album. But the one with, what's the one with, what's the one with Andre Chikatilo on the fucking side?
That is Escape from Mind. I think no,
Escape
is
from
it?
Mind. Now, yes, it is. It is Escape from Mind. Man, really technical fucking bands. Like, you think Iced Earth has a lot of gallops in it, and it's like really tight riffs. Shaw has some fucking great technical riffs too.
What the fuck were they?
And,
what kind of vodka were they fucking slunking down by? Or they were just Jesus.
But they sung their songs in English. They were with Cruise. That's another good Russian band. They're like a speed metal kind of thing. It's Kruiz. I think that's how they spelled it.
Yeah.
Night of the Road. Some of their songs are in Russian.
Yeah.
Or is it in English? Fuck, I don't remember.
Do you guys like Tool at all? What do you, I get Tool. Yeah, they're awesome. I haven't listened to enough Tool. I think as a kid, I was put off by Tool because I was too young to understand it. Like I was too stupid to like it. And I'm like, this just sounds weird. This sounds like drug music, you know. But I remember that not Anima, but whatever the fuck it's called. Anima. Yeah, I don't like this Tool Anima Tool. I'm not listening to this. I'm listening to Akadaka.
Oh, is this grindcore? Tool Anima?
So that's how I feel about Pink Floyd. Vinny's gonna kill me.
We have a problem.
I will say this: out of all the classic rock groups that that are deemed legends, is galvanized into concrete marble that cannot be touched, I don't care for Led Zeppelin. I have never cared for Led Zeppelin. I respect the legacy. John Bonham, great drummer. But at no point do I ever sit down and say, I want to listen to a whole Led Zeppelin album back to back. I just never clicked for me. It never fucking clicked. I don't know why. It's like it's too bell-bottom jeansy 70s shit, and it's not hard enough to be awesome like Black Sabbath. So I don't know how I feel.
I'll say this: if it was a decision between Led Zeppelin and Budgie, it's gonna be Budgie 10 times out of 10 for me.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's not me hating on Led Zeppelin. I just fucking love Budgie.
Yeah. Deep Purple
Deep Purple, Rainbow. I mean, of course.
thoughts on Winters on YouTube. I remember a time where people anticipating Time 2 to be like the biggest thing in metal ever, and then it just dropped and nobody cared. It was weird. However, the guy from Winters on the guitar is now the guitarist in Megadeth, so ain't that crazy?
Really?
But yes.
Is that the revolving door move now in Megadeth?
Yes.
Oh
It's a
my
very
goodness.
talented
Well,
guy,
how long you want to bet he lasts before
but,
Dave fucking blows a gasket or something?
well, it is supposedly Megadeth's last album, but
We'll see about that.
yeah, I don't know about that. It won't be the last time I fucking hear about that shit. But Zeppelin did a Lord of the Rings song. I know Blind Guardian did a really good one, basically adapted the Ring myth. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you guys a little PSA about the greatest band in the history of mankind. You see, I think quality is derived from how serious you take it, and you don't blink. Right? You take it serious.
God.
No
Yes.
no matter how ridiculous shit is, you totally commit to the idea, and you never go like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Ladies and gentlemen, Buttsauce is the greatest
Yes.
fucking band ever, because
Yes.
the song titles have lyrics that legitimately are longer than most like books or like at least a newspaper, right? You are gonna read these lyrics and you're gonna go, "Excuse you, what?" You think it's all a fucking joke, and it's got like synthesizers, and it's delivered with such gusto in every song
no,
as
I have
speech.
to- I have to fucking let me get it. Let me get an excerpt here because it's fucking amazing. Ball Sagoth. Because this band, they have stories in their songs that are so wide and in their scope, it's obscene. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my god. Let me see if I can find it. Listen, I'm going through the I'm going through the lyrics and it's like I'm reading a fucking novella. Oh my god. Hold on, let me see here. Can you just play of the Obsidian Crown Unbound segment? Because I don't
Okay.
think I can do it justice just by reading it.
Okay,
Go to
okay.
like fucking go to like 215 in
Okay,
the
yeah.
Obsidian Crown Unbound. You're gonna see what Buttsauce is about.
So Buttsauce, again, it's a British, like, by the way, the first album was called Battle Magic, and it looks straight out of old Warhammer. I'm talking about, like, White Dwarf Warhammer circa 1987, okay? And all the instrumentation sounds like fucking RuneScape. It's awesome, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna show you this. Where the fuck is it? Where is what was the song again? Sorry, I'm
It's
looking
the
through
Obsidian Crown Unbound here. I'll link it to you.
the Obsidian Crown Unbound.
There you go.
Yes, okay, I had was on the wrong album. Yeah, and it's what was it? 215.
Yeah, put that. You're gonna fucking have a laugh. It's awesome.
This is the greatest thing you guys were gonna hear today. I mean, yeah, sure, our album was pretty good, but listen to this.
And upon that arid field of war, the sentinels of light and shadow spoke to each other in tongues dormant since the third moon fell burning from the heavens. And not sweet were the words they uttered.
From software ass intro.
Oh, it's funny.
Holy fucking shit. Dude, do you guys use Spotify? Go on the Obsidian Crown Unbound right now. Go onto the lyrical page. Okay, just go into lyrics, click on the song, and see what unfolds ahead of you. Holy shit! Okay,
Yeah, that's
seriously.
what I was saying. It's like a novella. I'm telling you that every song here has a story behind it, and not all the words are sung. It's just like background information to know about the story.
just extensive lore.
Dude, this is This is awesome. No, I love bands when they do this. They give a shit about their songs.
Yeah, because at no point does the vocalist like Vogue Shelter style goes like, "What the fuck am I doing in the background?" And like, yeah, okay, now back into like doing it. There's no Blink saying, "Ha ha." It's we're doing this, okay? Rhapsody of Fire goes crazy like that. Too crazy for me, and I like Black Garden. Yeah, that's I respect that, but they don't do it like Balsa Goth does it because. This sounds like it's complete, like, you're looking at this like, you fucking serious? And like, yep, we are. But you can never really tell. It's like, is there self-awareness here where like, maybe we shouldn't release lyrics that are the size of the Bible. But they do. And it's oh my God, oh God.
Oh yeah, the riffs are good, by the way. That's also a big plus.
Oh yeah, that's also like the biggest part. Like, can you back up your shit? Can you make riffs of appropriate sound to the insane shit you're conjuring, you know? If not, then, I don't know. So that you guys' music has way too few words to be this good. Those are rookie numbers. Yeah, that's right.
We need to start, get to the typewriter, start furiously fucking producing, like, text. Like Hunter S. Thompson, just write fucking everything that you think of.
I need to just read you this, okay, out loud. I'm gonna read you these beyond lyrics. The ogre mage and the sword master began to utter fearsome words in a tongue which was ancient, and gleaming stars shifted upon the fathomless continents of the distant heavens. Words which in truth were not words, but rather a resonant key, which aspired to unlock a dire power which had reposed shackled since the fall of the legendary Shadow King himself, whose Ibon circlet power they even now sought to thwart. The incantation they gave voice to in the midst of that synchronous turmoil which had engulfed them was not so much heard by those within earshot as perceived, sensed as the vague disturbance in the fabric of reality, as fuliginous ripples on the surface of a hitherto still and placid
casting
pool.
A spell! Guys, get down! He's casting a spell!
Jesus. Holy fuck. It's awesome. So that's what I mean. You know, I think that's what matters the most to me. If you can make something like this and you're passionate about it, that matters the most to me. Passion about fucking music. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think someone out there was conceived to this music? I think by
non-zero chance.
Let me tell you something. Let me. You are a fucking. You could be born to a Balsa Goth album, and you can die of natural causes, and you're like 3 tracks in, okay? So fuck it.
I think it's a worthy endeavor.
Not sweet were the words they uttered.
Oh my god, Balsa Goth. I love this band. They're so fucking special.
We have been joking for a while now that if we do another obscenely Swedish album, we need to like do a Balsa Goth thing. But you know, at some point we're just gonna give it up because we can never replicate that awesome power, man. Unless we find a green fire goblet to harness the power of a million suns exploding into a, you know, a non-Euclidean spell, we won't even be 1% as cool as Balsa Goth. Okay.
Well, you know those fucking multi-syllabic titles. It reminds me of, what was it, Demilich? The 16th six-tooth son of the 14-4 regional dimensions, still unnamed. I don't even know how I had to, like, okay, I listen to Demilich a lot. That's how I fucking memorize that. But that band is fucking funny. You want to talk about burp vocals? Holy shit. Antti Bowman is a very unique vocalist. I mean, he sounds like a frog.
I'll tell you a funny story. So this is ages ago. And at that time, I was dating this girl, and I showed her, like, she asked me, so what death metal do you like? I didn't think you're gonna like. Nah, show me. I gave her Demilich, the most like slimy, disgusting music ever, and I just got a reply back saying, "This is genuinely scary. I had to turn it off."
Oh wait, you put on that's
just for context, guys.
Intense.
Just for context, it's like, oh, you like metal? I'm like, yeah. Yo, check this out.
That's a good one. I saw them live when they came down here.
Only the Finns
To a
can produce that.
place called Churchill's. They're playing along with what was it, Artificial Brain, and I forget who the fuck else. I don't know. They were great, and there was a guy that was really obscenely Finnish in there in the crowd. It was fucking awesome.
Obscenely Swedish, obscenely Finnish. You know.
It was fucking great.
I don't see. I don't see.
Next time I want to be left alone, I'll send her a 25-minute Dream Theater track. Oh, that'll do it.
Oh, by the way, hot fucking take. I think Dream Theater is meh. Okay, I think.
Oh, come on! This is a good song.
Yeah. But you put a Watchtower in the same room as a Dream Theater,
Well,
and that mastiff dog is gonna eat that Chihuahua like gone. Okay, John Jarzombek. You know, Jeff Water, all these guitar heroes. Listen, Dream Theater. Who are these guys?
Oh, we're losing them here.
Piano people. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm dropping non-Euclidean inside jokes here. That is only like knowledgeable to Frank, and you guys are like, yeah, haha, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Joel, make these fucking obtuse jokes that only I will understand to the fucking hundreds of people watching. I'm sure they'll fucking understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you entertain a crowd. You know, you have a bunch of people over, and you start like just appealing to one person in the room, and everybody else is like awkwardly going, yeah, haha, haha, yeah, okay. And then if anybody is laughing out very loudly, then you can stop and point and be like, you're full of shit. You don't know what a Jarzombek is? For context, everybody, Jarzombek is the guitarist of Blooded Science and Watchtower, which is a technical thrash metal band that was playing way cooler music before those guys in Dream Theater even existed. Okay, so boom. The fucking 70s.
Well, I mean, what was it? Portnoy, the drummer of Dream Theater. I think he has a Watchtower tattoo. It was like. Yeah, I think energetic disassembly, exactly what it was.
Yeah, no, he's a good drummer.
So he knows.
Funny ass story about that. I was listening to, I shit you not, me and Mike, we were listening to music, and we're talking about, Mike is super into The Who, right? And he was talking about great drummers. I'm like, you should check out this like band, right? Because like this is more like my kind of stash of weird music. And I was showing him like. Mady in Kiev, I was showing him like, all this weird shit. And I was showing him like, oh, what's prog metal? He didn't know what prog metal was. And I was like, well, one of the most, like, the Metallica of prog metal is like Dream Theater. And that's not a dig, that's just the popularity. People don't like, oh, prog metal, Dream Theater. And Mike misread the drummer's name in Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy, as Mike Porntoy.
Right.
And he was like,
that's how he is.
Yeah, well, that's Mike for you.
Mike Porn Toy.
Porn Toy.
Is that what he said? Porn Toy. Okay.
Yeah, Mike Porn Toy.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah, that fits.
Dr. Point. Oh my goodness.
I hope you guys blow up just so I can read/listen to all these insane interviews you give out. Well, let me tell you something. If you want us on your local college radio show, we will do it. But, our internet is not that great, so you're going to have to pay for travel accommodations, 5-star lobster meals, and other stuff that college people can afford. But if you are interested in, maybe some sort of thing, then we're just a phone call away, maybe. However, we will not be doing the soundtrack to your new crypto scam game. We are not interested in that. But anything else? Maybe if you have an, a compilation album or something, and you're like, what is this? Obscure thrash metal from Sweden. I sure could use a Masquerade of Hate ripped from YouTube. That's not cool. Our campus has cheeseburgers. Is that good enough? I did see a Taco Bell at Marco's college, and that was strange. I'm like, wait, what? You guys get it straight from the source? That is the food you guys eat, just Taco Bell in America? You have to understand that when I see one thing in America, I judge things forever on that one encounter. Okay, that's that's how it goes. Okay, will you do birthday parties? Maybe.
I am available for children's parties.
Play from your fucking heart.
Fucking heart.
We have
But
authentic.
Daddy, the man has a blood bubble coming out of his nose. Shut up and listen
Let
to him play. It's Bill
Mommy,
Hicks, if
mommy.
you don't know. Do you do funerals? I don't know if you're gonna remember it, but hey, we'll do it for your family.
Will there be people there, or is it incidental?
I don't know. Hey, we're just here for the band. I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
How about children's parties for 30-year-olds? Well, metal is for children.
30-year-old
Remember
children?
that shit. Okay, so remember that metal is for children. Okay. When we listen to this abrasive music, we're doing it because we're juvenile and we don't know the magnificent sounds of Kesha. So, you know, it is what it is. Where I live, tacos aren't even a known thing. Do you live in like Antarctica? I think every person on the planet knows what a taco is. No, even like babushkas.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I guess I went to Washington State not too long ago, and they had a Peruvian restaurant there, and it was actually pretty legit. And it pretty much compared to the ones down here in South Florida. I mean, you get a lot of Latin American places down here. It's become so like the world's become so socialized with itself. You find bits and pieces of what's familiar to you in other corners of the world. It's pretty wild.
Sorry, you guys can hear my leg going like this? Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I just sit and I do this kind of shit. My bad. It's not because I'm nervous, anxious, or anything like that. It's just like a physical tick. It's not like Tourette's or nothing like that. But sometimes you're just sitting there, just shit like that. He's jorking it. Yeah, you bet it. Tribal drums. Oh, I love Sepultura.
Oh, that's another good band. Man.
Yeah. Didn't you guys know that Max Cavalera, he's doing the soundtrack on the new Street Fighter game, guys?
And it's not Blanca.
Yeah, it's not Blanca. It's fucking Zangief. Ain't that some shit? What a not missed opportunity, but my goodness, come on now. I haven't heard a Sepultura song in ages. Well, Sepultura as a band, don't know about that, but Cavalera Conspiracy, hell yeah, or just Cavalera. I was just watching you play GTA 4 and you brought him up. Oh yeah, he's awesome on there. Dead by Dawn.
Oh, does he have he's a DJ or like radio person on that game?
The Lost and the Damned expansion DLC. There's like additional soundtracks on there. So like base GTA 4, it's like hardcore punk. But when he's on, it's like Entombed, Creator, shit like that. And it's great. New Soulfly song video today. I like Soulfly. New Soulfly. It's one of those cases where I think the older material in the band is like bad and the new stuff is better. It's like a total switch. Like Soulfly started with the root Sepultura sound, like the beginning of new metal, the down tune, which yeah, sure, whatever. But Soulfly was like a worse version of that, and then they like slowly got their thrash roots back, and now Soulfly is just great. Yeah. Oh, Nail Bomb! I fucking love Nail Bomb.
Oh yeah, that's another like. I sometimes forget about that one. It's pretty good.
Yeah. You ever listen to Rune Magic, dude? Nico, are you my friend Elias? That was like my friend's new black metal band, because he got into black metal over like one weekend and made a whole new band. And I asked him, okay, who's playing what? It's like me, everything.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
This is like fucking before MySpace era shit, and he was just gonna like do it all himself. And I'm like, all right, you got any songs yet? No, but I'll think of some. Like, all right, okay. And he was like, this is gonna be my life passion now, making Rune Magic shit. So that I was reading an article earlier where the lead singer of Deftones helped bury the debut album of Soulfly on an Indian burial ground to like enchant it or whatever. See,
that's not in poor taste at all.
Yeah, no, that's what we got to do. Here's what we'll do, okay? Because part of my religion here, okay? See what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the Master of the Scythe and we're gonna go down to some some guy's backyard, and we're just gonna be placing it there. I'm sure some Viking died there, maybe, you know, and then it'll
We'll go to Minnesota. We'll increase our chances.
Oh yeah. That's a good. Is there any Rage Against the Machine songs you like? I have to be honest. I know like 3 songs from San Andreas, and then from like Guitar Hero.
It's funny. Someone mentioned Rage. I saw a Photoshop picture of a snow leopard doing a kickflip, and I thought of fucking Bulls on Parade.
Dun, 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 dun.
It was a fucking awesome picture, but yeah, just something I recently thought of.
You like strapping? I fucking love Devin Townsend. Okay. In fact, if Scythelord 3 is gonna sound more industrial, it'll probably turn into SYL. I fucking love. Dude, my favorite record is not Alien, like everybody else. I think City is the best. City is the best. Literally, like, unskippable when I put it on, like start till fucking finish. It's awesome, and it's almost like City was sort of serious, but also a little goofy. It's just right for me. What do you think of Mastodon or Gojira? I saw Gojira at the Olympics or whatever. It's kind of cool for him to play. Mastodon, I don't think I know a single Mastodon song. I only know Mastodon from the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, Linoleum Knife or whatever. Right, that's my experience with Mastodon. But I haven't heard enough, honestly. Hey, you know, it's funny. Here's something I don't know if Zerl is still alive, but Zerl animated one of Devin Townsend's music videos on YouTube.
Oh, really? Did he?
Yes, he did.
Hey, he's got some clientele. My goodness.
Yeah. He gets around. My guy gets around, you know. Yeah, you can check it. I forgot what the song is.
I wonder how they secured that Olympics gig. It's like they have a metal band play at the fucking Olympics, and it has like these crazy imagery with this like decapitated lady in a dress and shit. Pretty wild.
Well, it was in Paris, and you know.
Yeah, they're French and all that, but they had a whole bunch of choices. You know, they're not. That's not like the only French band they got.
One band from Frenchland.
ADX, fucking amazing band.
Okay, okay. Can you name a band that does not just have 3 letters?
There's H-Bomb.
No, that's one. H.
That was H and then bomb.
Yeah, but
it's like 5 letters.
No, there's a hyphen in there. Invalidate. Okay, one more.
You fucker. Oh, whatever. I don't care. I love those 2 bands are great. But they're from like the 80s. They're like the few bands from France that like made heavy metal. Them and God damn it, what's her name? Crap. They misspelled it is why I can't fuck. It's one of those bands that purposely misspell their names, and now I can't find it in my shitty Rolodex brain.
Thank you, Oblivion. I love Oblivion.
Oblivion, yeah. Well, that's a French Canadian, so fuck it, close enough.
Close enough.
Oh, I piss off a lot of mainlander French people saying that.
Let's see here. I was gonna say Canadian. Y'all like the Who? The Who, like Baba O'Reilly, right? You know, Eminence Front, ooh, you know, like the Who.
Well, that song's pretty good. I like that song a lot.
It's great. I like them. I've always had a soft spot for Mongolian throat singing because if you listen to Warlord on the Toxic Minds release, there's a heavy thing going on there with that. I'm also a big. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even like kayfabe off. Love Mongolian shit. I have a bunch of books on Genghis Khan in my wine library above me as I'm sitting. Really like history. In fact, if I cared more about school, I would have gotten the best grade ever because my history knowledge would have been so good. All other grades would have been, who cares? You have an SSSS, PPPP, SSS, ISPS super ranking on history that all other grades don't matter, you know? Super S. So that do a reading stream. Well, we just described Buttsauce to you, so you know.
Well, we can read all of Buttsauce for you. How about that?
From Deep Under says, all right, give me a history fact then, bitch. Okay, one day, From Deep Under went into the bathroom. He brushed his teeth, went, spat into the sink. He looked up and he saw a freaky-ass monster that was so ugly. But then he realized it was him. This is more of a horror story than a historical fact, but it still checks out. Play solitaire on stream for charity. I gotta stop playing with these keys. Jesus, am I 5?
You're entertaining yourself. It's the self-entertaining baby. Moms need it. Moms are going crazy. It's running out. They need it.
Yep.
Lovecraft short story, yeah. Oh man, if you want to talk Lovecraft, there's my favorite's the Pickman's Model. Holy shit. I like fucked up ass story.
I like Dagon for some reason. I don't know why. It's like a sea of flesh. That was like stuck with me. I feel like a lot of Lovecraft stories just end up with like I was transported weirdly and freaky things are happening and then uh-oh, something's coming! Exclamation mark. And then next page, the end. Like, oh, okay.
That's how a lot of Junji Ito things happens. Like, oh, this weird shit's happening. Let me just turn the page. Oh, that's fucking horrible. The end.
See, I don't know why people get scared by horror movies or books or mangas or whatever, and they turn the page and it's freaky. Just turn the page back and close the book and say bye. I mean, how hard is it not to use your eyes? Jesus.
Vulcan and Sortilege, yeah, those are two good ones.
Just close eyes.
Offline creepypastas. You mean just books? Oh man, I printed out a creepypasta. Awesome. They did that back then? What? Then they made these things called books? What? It's crazy.
Yeah,
Spooky spaghetti books.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the Epic of Gilgamesh on pure like slab of rock. And I'll be like, yo, who the fuck tweeted this? You know. You joke, but there's a Japanese horror author that literally does that.
What does what exactly? What, he prints out stuff?
It's best horror story.
Uketsu. Hold on, let me Google this guy. Uketsu. Oh wait, hold on a minute.
Wait. Thoughts on heavier Japanese bands like Scythe and Sabbath. Now, I'm gonna let Frank take this question because he has opinions about Sabbath and Sabbath.
Okay, well, this is my... As long as we're fucking
Frank can deal with the outcome of this nuclear death, so I'm gonna go take a pee.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this. I like Sabbath from Japan. I saw them live. I saw them play Blackfire. It was fucking awesome. They had a great energy. They were dressed ridiculous, as they always are. But I do prefer the Sabbath from England a little bit more, just because I like Andy Sneap's riff a lot. I don't know. It's just more... I don't know. Joel decided to just fucking set me up because the two fucking bands had the same name, Sabbath. But I like them. But as long as we're talking about like other Japanese bands, wait, isn't there a Japanese band called Doom? I don't know, but Psy's good. Joel fucking loves Psy. They have like a saxophone in one of the fucking songs. It's great. Again, that's the kind of stuff that inspires us. They just throw curveballs and shit just to not be so samey. But if we're talking like other Japanese bands, there's Anthem's one of my favorites. Like even late Anthem is awesome. But there's an album called Gypsy Ways, where there's smoke, there's fire. Those are two of my favorites. Hunting Time's a great album by Anthem. What's another great Japanese band? Loudness. I mean, I don't even need to talk about them. They're fucking amazing. What's another good one? I was listening to them. The thing is, I just have like a potpourri of like songs that I like, and I don't make a strong mental... Holy shit, I just realized something. There's a great death metal band I found. It's called Intestine Ballism. Baalism. They play great death metal. It's like, it has a green album cover. The album is called An Anatomy of the Beast. Great death metal. Really heavy, and it gets super melodic at points. and intestine ballism, BAALISM. Fucking crazy shit. Really impressive stuff.
I come back to somebody name dropping fucking Totsu Kotsu. Fucking, I love that band. My favorite. It has one of my favorite reviews of all time on Metallum. Somebody like ranked it 100% and said, listening to this album is like drinking a lava milkshake. It's awesome.
There's super obscure band from Japan, but they play like an off-kilter sort of thrash, which is kind of weird. It's called Freaks, capital letters, 2 X's, and my favorite song off of there is Funeral Flower. Funeral Flower Freaks with 2 X's at the end. Fucking crazy shit. They have, like, no one knows about them, but I want more people to know about them.
Is it a spicy take that I don't like Meshuggah because there are a lot of tracks where the guitars and drums sound so out of time? I don't like Meshuggah just because of geographical reasons, okay? They're like from Umeå, I think, and that is a disgusting city, so I don't like them. Sorry.
They're like cats, the Swedes. They fucking hate each other. Very territorial creatures.
Yep.
I don't know. You just gotta like it. I love regular music. You know, I was talking about Billy Idol earlier. I love, The Cure, Icon, The Vice, Heart, and shit like that. But I also like Meshuggah. It's weird. You have a contrast of sounds and how freaky music can get.
I don't really listen to like Meshuggah for like music reasons. I listen to more as a drum jam. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'm never like, oh, that's a great like song. It's more so like, oh, it's really impressive. Like, I don't know, man. I really can't get into Meshuggah. Like, I don't know, man. It's they're definitely unique. Uniquely so that everybody started like adapting, 13-string guitars, but that's a whole nother discussion. But hey, I checked out The Flesh from Sweden recently. They're pretty cool. I think I've heard of The Flesh, yeah. Does you better like Fintroll though? I like a little bit of folk metal sometimes, just for the fun. Just for when I'm in the mood for it. I'm like, yeah, sure, Trollhammaren. I like a bunch of Finnish people are like singing Swedish. I don't know why they did that.
Maybe to appeal to you, just so they can lull you into a false sense of security.
Yeah. Listen, we border each other, Finland and Sweden, right? So occasionally get a little crossover sometimes, but and it's not like Norway and Denmark where we put a sign saying "fuck off," So hey. We are also unfortunately border with Denmark. Boo. No, we don't. We had a war against them, okay? And we won that war, so we took a big saw, Bugs Bunny style, and made them go away. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why Alfred Nobel made all that dynamite, just to blow a fucking hole in the ocean, just to
Peace price, by the way. Peace price.
Yeah, I mean, that's the irony of it, but, hey, he wanted to redeem himself.
You guys like In Flames? I like, well, everybody else on the planet says this, old In Flames. But I'll say this. When it comes to Gothenburg Melodeath, I think At the Gates is better than In Flames. It's arguably the reason I like Melodeath is because they remind me of Heartwork by Carcass. But I'm a big Children of Bodom fan. That shit has been the soundtrack of the early 2000s metal that I got super fucking into. Follow the Reaper, Hate Breeder, maybe Something Wild, but fuck it, amazing albums, man. If there was one more song that we just added, it would have probably been a Children of Bodom thing, because let me tell you something. When Joel gets 5 beers and somebody's like, "Hey, anybody want a song requested?" I'm like, oh.
Every Bottom Beach Terror or something. What's that song?
Yeah, they're incredible. It's funny about Something Wild. A lot of those lyrics are improvised on the spot. It's kind of like what the first Lamb of God record was like, where what's his name? forget what the singer is, Randy Blythe or whatever. He went to the studio, he just drank a bunch of beers and said, listen, I'm just gonna scream and then later we say these were the lyrics. It's great.
I wonder how many bands do that. It's like, fuck it.
Yeah, I wonder who would do that, Frank. Surely not us.
Well, I don't know. I think you could pretty much tell what's being said.
No, it's just
Oh,
no.
that's why you had the lyrics on there, just to fucking trick everyone. I see.
Yeah.
You even fooled me. My goodness.
Yep. Scam them again.
My goodness, you're quick.
Yep,
Very sneaky.
Yeah, been at it for a couple years, man.
Oh shit! I was just going through my music. There's a band called Flatbacker.
I love Flatbacker. Yeah.
Flatbacker, you have to check him out. Flatbacker's fucking amazing. I think they went under some other different name. They're not too well known.
Yeah.
It's flat, like the floor.
Camouflage.
Backer, like
Camouflage.
linebacker. Flatbacker. Really good band from Japan.
Yep.
What do they play? They play like a sort of fast.
They play
almost thrash metal. They're like a speed metal band, sort of. They get pretty heavy.
Let's say, do you like X Japan, but wish they were more punky and more motorheady and sort of sounding a little bit like Metal Church, not full thrash, but still had the double bass of tukataka tukataka tukataka, and it got that early down-tuned guitar too. You know, it's great. Really check him out. Flatbacker, it's great. Frank, do you like Hana Terash?
Well, I don't know too many other songs. I'm more familiar with their antics. You know, bulldozer through the fucking venue. The guy's coming in screaming his head off. I think there was he made Gigi Allen look like a Hare Krishna. Those fucking guys. Like they would throw Molotov cocktail bombs, or they tried to. They throw knives at the crowd. They fucking assault the crowd. They were insane.
Yeah.
They were crazy.
Did that really happen, or is that some made up shit? I think it did happen. There's a photo of like him just going to the venue with a bulldozer. That's what I'm talking about, okay?
That's your fucking legacy. You will never be as badass as those guys. Did you run a fucking bulldozer? Did you run construction equipment through the building of a venue while you were playing at that venue? No, you're a fucking punk. Okay, get lost.
I always think about that meme image of like speed metal band forced to play 300 BPM or else bomb will go off on stage.
No, I mean, really, they would have done it. They're crazy.
Awesome. And there's a Vice article in chat about it, yeah. Are you gonna save the stream as a VOD later on? No, we do not archive the Scythelord Q&A things. We premiere them, and then if you were there, you were there. They're special, okay? But it's not like these streams. Like once this is done, something special happened. It'll never happen again. Listen, it's like Christmas. Damn it, it happens.
I know one of you hit record. I know one of you's got this shit running. So hey, you know, we'll see if it goes on YouTube later. Yeah, and if it does, so be it.
But joke's on you, dumbass, because here's the deal, right? Because we have content idea. Now we made a music, right? And that means that means that we have you know, the sovereign right that if you play one of our songs, then we're gonna DMCA you for playing a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Latin author, okay? We might be doing it unfair, but we do it for the love of the scam, okay? So fuck off, okay?
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Sorry, boys. I will say this. I did say this on the main channel before I said, hey, we're going to be preparing this. There's not a chance in hell that I'm going to be back on the main channel after this, like, playing for a couple of hours. I, you know, today, super anticipating this. I did a bunch of other stuff today. I will be back tomorrow, though. But the anticipation leading up to this was more important than me playing a bunch of janky games anyway. So, you know, hey. You know, technically, this is a stream, so you weren't devoid of the content TM tonight. Even though maybe not necessarily, you know, this extreme form of music is everybody's taste. Still cool if you weren't here for the music, or just checked it out of curiosity that you guys were here. So, you know, we bow our officially branded Scythelord hats down to you. So, you know.
Copyrighted. No, thank you so much for checking it out. It means a lot to us that, you know, all you guys came to check out our new music, you know,
Yep.
buying the merch, supporting us.
Yep.
Very grateful. This is something that it's very special to be sure.
Yep. 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 So, you know, whatever the future holds, you will hear more music. You will hear more things, and you know. But hey, man. Hopefully, this is on streaming soon. I'm gonna go and upload the lyric video here onto YouTube, and I'm gonna split them up individually. If you'd like, oh yeah, I want to really listen to that, you know, tank cover. You'll have that individually as well, so you can show all your friends that, hey, guess what? My favorite band put a new thing on, and they say like, that's really cool, but can you please turn it down? You're playing it at 6,000 decibel, and you go, what? So yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head to bed now, and I want to say, from the bottom of my charcoal blackened heart, thank you so much for checking out Masters of the Scythe. You know, whatever the future is, there'll be more stuff soon, because I think, you know, one of the things that, as I said, why this took so long, I was very unhappy with the mixing, whatever, but I kind of found the secret sauce mojo that I was experimenting with, and I'm like, this sounds really fucking killer. So you know, but I can confirm this. There is Scythelord 3 songs being cooked in the oven, slow roasted, okay? We have material that we've been working on, and that's not just like over the week. It's been sitting there and doing stuff. So whenever that comes out, I'm sure you will hear it. But yeah.
Just
Where's
sit
the
tight, folks.
yeah, where's the link to your merch? Is it on your Twitter or something? It's on the Bandcamp.
It's on the Bandcamp. Oh, let me. I got a little distracted with this stream. I think all the shirts are gone, but one. I'll make another. I'll make another batch of these soon. I'll try to get the hold of them soon so we can re-up on
Yeah.
that. Very grateful that they're all gone now. Wow, that's very special. Uh, I gotta move all these out of the house.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to tonight. We actually have been talking about for 3 hours. My goodness, I
Holy
remember the
shit.
I remember the first time that Talks of Minds was released. For some reason, I did not have a voice at all. Maybe it was like circumstance or something, but I remember it's just and somehow I have that stream still on my hard drive somewhere, literally almost a 10-year-old stream. And that's pretty funny. Frank back then, everybody, hey, how's it doing? You know, and then
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
boom.
Hello. Well, I don't know. I think my voice is always this old. I people wouldn't believe me. I was as young as I was. They thought I was a fucking adult. But if I look back now, I'll be like, who is this fucking fetus talking? You know. But you know, I guess that's relative.
Well, you know what, Frank? I'm gonna log out of the Scythelord Twitch, so I won't say a bunch of funny stuff because I cannot be trusted with that power.
You'll see funny stuff on your fucking channel.
Yep. Do more T-spins. All right,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for checking out the new EP. Be on the lookout for more stuff in the future. Possibly, I mean, this is just aiming for crazy stuff here, but maybe we have something next year. But don't spike that down. But we're always making stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. We never sit down and say nah to music. We're always hungry, bloodthirsty canine dogs. Always want to say, hey, let's jam a ram, ding dong. Was almost in my room last night. Is that Butthole Surfers or is it Ministry? I think it's Ministry.
Yeah, that's Butthole Surfers.
Okay.
Did Ministry. Okay, we're getting off track now.
Yeah,
We're
getting off track. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. Check out the new album if you haven't already, and if you did, thank you. Regardless, thank you for being here tonight, and see you guys next time. Final words here, Frank.
No, just thank you so much for checking it out. We hope you like it more. Tell your friends. Tell your family, tell your,
Tell your
preacher,
dog.
rabbi, all about it.
Yep.
Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Frank, and that is it for Joey. He will now slug back like a maggot into bed. Again, thank you so much. I hope that it was worth the wait. But for now, I'm gonna be in bed, as I said. But tomorrow, I'm gonna be hard at work because 7 days of spooky games begins. And that also means that if you guys like this sort of intimate, smaller crowd of just this like little secret club here where we sit around and just kind of, huddle together over the campfire telling a little metal stories, you do get that, because with 7 days of spooky games comes the Vineyard. Ladies and gentlemen, for 7 days consecutively in a row, scary fucking movies every night. So, it's time for people to get really, really crazy and be like, how the fuck do I get in? Don't worry about it, okay? It's a secret. The Vineyard might have a revision soon, by the way. It might be easier to get into the future. We might even do a royalty-free thing for a movie at some point, maybe. But for now, once again, nearly time already, but that doesn't mean that I don't mean it. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Thank you so much for checking out the album. And thank you so much for listening to my ashtray of a voice that was leading up to this album, because my goodness, I sounded like I didn't have a throat at some points, and I think you know why. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow possibly. Absolutely, you'll catch me tomorrow because it's the first day of 7 Spooky Games. Alright, peace out, thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting the band, everybody. Take care. Everybody, take care.